Hello, and welcome to the Stupid Sequels podcast, where we find truly terrible movies and give them all the attention they don't deserve. Each episode will discuss exactly what made such a horrible sequel, from casting to budget to just plain bad writing. While we all love a great movie, there's something just a little more fun about watching a seriously stupid sequel. Now, while there are plenty of awful sequels out there, we have a few guidelines about the kind of movies we'll be reviewing here. We're talking about direct-to-video, made-for-TV, never appeared in a theater sequels. The ones the studios gave up on before they even started. This week, my guest is Jessica, and we will be discussing Save the Last Dance 2, the sequel to Save the Last Dance. Hello, Jessica.
Hello.
So you picked this movie, and I think your exact reaction was, there's a sequel?
Definitely. I was out with some friends, and you sent me a list, and I looked at it, and that jumped out to me immediately because I was sitting next to my best friend, and the original is like her favorite movie ever. Mm-hmm. So I saw it, and I'm like, all right, gotta do it. Yeah. Gotta know.
And then you watched the first 30 seconds of Save the Last Dance 2, and you said, oh no.
I'm not even kidding. I'd say the first 30 seconds was some of the weirdest stuff in that movie.
What? Okay, we'll get to it, but I was just like, what? I was like, happening?
Why is there like a voiceover? Like,
why is she being interviewed? Oh, God.
Yes! Wait, I always thought
that was going back. I thought like the end of the movie was going to be like interviewed for her.
You're right. By the end, I forgot about it, but
there were so many things that were dropped by the end of the movie. I think they just ran out of money. So just for comparison, the original got a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know if I'm surprised.
Okay, here's the thing. Deep personal connection to Save the Last Dance. Save the Last Dance is the first PG-13 movie I ever saw in my life.
Wow.
I was, like, literally not allowed to see PG-13 movies until I was 13, with the exception of Save the Last Dance.
Okay.
Pay It Forward.
Wow, I totally saw that as a kid, too, and isn't it, like, a really depressing
It's really fucking dark! And the third one was Bring It On, which I saw at a sleepover.
Oh, that was PG-13?
And I got in so much trouble.
Were you at my house?
Yes, I was!
I am so sorry.
Because my mom was like, well, if Jessica's watching it, it's probably fine. And then she's like, that's a sexy movie. And I'm like, it's really not. Whatever. And then after that, it was kind of off the rails, and I got to watch whatever I wanted. But, like, and I think I turned 13, like, a week later or something stupid. So, like, Save the Last Dance was like the first time hearing shit on screen was like,
scandalous.
It was such like the difference between like a PG movie and a PG-13 movie for me was like such a like sharp contrast. I was like, and I think she let me see it because it was like A, about dancers, which I was at the time,
sure,
and B, about interracial relationships, of which I am the product of one. So I think like I was like, Mommy, it's about black people and white people and dancing, and she's like, you can see it. Yay! So, like, to me, I'm like, this movie was fucking Schindler's List. It was Titanic. That's 100%. But watching it back, I'm like, oh no, 59 feels about right.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it in a really long time, and I rewatched it for this, too. I had not seen it
since the initial watch.
No, shut up.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I had not seen it before.
Wow, because I've definitely seen it a couple times, but I remembered it a lot better, and then I watched it, I'm like, oh, this is alright.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
It obviously has very big ideas of, like, this is going to be a movie about race and the worlds you enter and, like, your privilege and the privilege that you don't see. But then she does a sick dance move and you're like, oh, nope.
That's the number one thing I want to talk about that's not about the sequel.
That Julia Stiles can't dance?
Cannot dance! Okay.
Can't dance at all. Like,
it is tragic.
The first, like, okay, so if you haven't seen the original, blah, 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 the premise is Julia Stiles is auditioning for Juilliard. And she's like, Mom, you have to be there. And her mom is running late, and she rushes to her audition. She gets in a car accident, and she dies.
So she stops dancing.
So she stops dancing. And she has to, like, move to the inner city. She moves to Chicago to live with her dad, and she goes to a school entirely populated by black people. Much like, not how that works, but okay. And then she's like, I'm never going to dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm.
I mean, the song does not play, but the feeling is definitely
might
there.
As well. And then she goes to a hip-hop club and decides, I'm going to learn hip-hop. And then she learns how to mash hip-hop and ballet. And life is just a dance. If love is a rhythm, I am a dancer. So many of these songs went through my head as I watched this movie.
Really funny.
Are we human or are we dancers?
That is the question. The ultimate question.
Okay, so that's basically the premise of the first movie.
And so the opening of the movie is Julia Stiles, like, look how fucking great she is at ballet at her Juilliard audition. I'm like, she can't dance.
I read, like, a BuzzFeed article.
What if...
It was, like, 30-something things you don't know about this. Did you read it, too? And it was, like, she practiced for, like, had rehearsals for, like, 6 weeks. And I was like, That's
not long enough.
Not enough.
Oh, I wrote it down.
I have it open if I could find... Nope.
My notes are all fucked up.
No, but it was so funny because I was watching it, and my mom walks by, and she's like...
She trained for a month and a half for 6 hours a day.
Yeah, that's just not enough. That's not enough. My mom walks by, and she's like, did Julia Stiles dance before this movie? And I was like, Mom, Julia Stiles can't dance in this movie. Like, let's be honest. This is not good.
Real. But she credits the drunk dancing scene she does in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Which I don't remember.
Got her the audition.
I mean, good for her, but...
So it's when she's at the party with Patrick Verona and she's drunk dancing on the table. And he falls... Which I watched that scene, and, like, she has better rhythm and, like,
that's the
motion in her hips.
You can tell she doesn't have rhythm in the movie. It's not like she can't do the steps. She's doing the steps fine.
Steps.
She just doesn't... She's a white girl.
But I think it's just, like, because in the movie she's, like, playing drunk, you can, like, oh, well, she's not right on the moves because she's drunk. But, like, she's got some, like, hip swivel action on that table where I'm like, God damn, Julie Stiles. And then she falls off the... Like, she dances for 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, I completely credit 10 Things I Hate About You for even getting me the audition. And then I think they saw me and were like, ooh, girl, get yourself to boot camp.
Yeah.
Because it
Where at least
work.
the girl in the sequel, she was like a trained dancer.
She was literally a ballerina in communist Poland. And the way she got out of communist Poland was by dancing.
Oh, wow.
Okay, the shit I Googled about the girl in the sequel, I'm like, well, first of all...
I Googled after 20 minutes, I was like, this girl's accent keeps slipping. She's from Eastern Europe. And then I was like, oh, wow, I was right?
In the opening... Okay. So this is a deep cut. I'm guessing a lot of you came here from my guest appearance on Mal's podcast. Wow, Mother May I Sleep With podcast. I just forgot the name of her podcast. Sorry, Mal's. So if you listen to Mother May I Sleep With podcast and you watch the movie Starving in Suburbia, Julia Stiles is recasting the sequel by the girl who plays Butterfly Anna. If that sentence didn't make sense to you, I'm sorry. For the 10 of you who it did, yeah. Weird. And I immediately recognize this girl because in Starving in Suburbia, she's just a voiceover. She's like the voice of anorexia in a girl's head.
Oh. And
it's really weird because it's supposed to be like her inner like demon, but her inner demon is Polish. And her voice is so distinct and like accented that literally she's like, who am I? Oh, I'm just Sarah, and I love to dance. I'm like, Butterfly Anna. And I Googled it, I'm like, I was fucking right!
Had you never seen her in anything before?
No.
Oh, so
and
you haven't seen Coyote Ugly.
And you don't see her face
okay.
in Starving in Suburbia. So even if I had seen her in other stuff,
yeah,
I wouldn't have known her from that.
Right.
But yeah, Isabella Miko is a fucking phenomenal dancer.
Yeah.
Which I think the movie, like the last 10 minutes, like, just let Isabella dance.
Like, I mean, that is pretty much what happened. When it ended, I was like, oh, that was kind of anticlimactic, but they really did just let her dance through the last 10 minutes, and that was it.
It really did, and I thought some Black Swan shit was about to happen. So, okay, talk about the original. So, this movie was nominated for, like, every Teen Choice Award and, like, MTV Music Award.
Of course.
Because it was produced by MTV, as was the sequel. It stars Julia Stiles, Sean Patrick Thomas. It was Kerry Washington's first movie role, and Bianca Lawson, who is a vampire. I'm sorry, she is.
Yeah.
That bitch looks the same 20 years ago as she does to fucking day.
She's Nikki, right?
Yeah. She's Maya in Pretty Little Liars. She convincingly plays a 17-year-old in 2001, as well as she does in 2016, as well as she does in 1998 on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Bitch is a vampire.
That's incredible.
Google Bianca Lawson at any point. She's like Keanu Reeves. She just looks the same. She's aging backwards. She's Paul Rudd.
Keanu Reeves doesn't look the same. He looks better and better.
He does. But so does Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's aging backwards, too.
Yeah.
Like, picture of him in Ant-Man, picture of him in Clueless. He looks the fucking... Like, he looks,
okay, yes.
He looks hotter in Ant-Man, but he looks the fucking same.
Sure.
But yeah. But Bianca Lawson's such a small character. I'm like, I want more! So the entire first dance scene in the club with the two of them was 100% improvised, which I'm like, I would hope so.
You don't say!
Because he's literally telling her the steps as she's doing them, and she's still not really getting them. But they basically were like, get on the dance floor, Julia danced badly, perfect. Sean Patrick Thomas, dance and like Julia try and copy him, and she like couldn't copy him, which
He's
is why
not even doing anything difficult.
which is why he was like foot in front, foot, but he wasn't supposed to. It was just supposed to be like, wow, we're so in sync with each other. But she couldn't get it. So that whole thing where like she's staring at him like I fucking can't get it is genuine.
And then she's like bobbing her head back and forth, like oh god,
with her t-shirt do-rag.
I still don't. I was looking at the logistics. I don't know how they did it. First of all, where did the sleeves go?
No. So remember that thing in the 90s where you'd have like a tank top
like,
with a pattern, and then you'd have an outer shirt with a pattern.
So it was like kind of like a short. Wait, no, it had sleeves.
She had 2 shirts.
I know, but then it goes. The outer part goes on her head, and I'm like, I can't see the parts.
Where did the sleeves go in her do-rag? Well, first of all, she shows up at Kerry Washington's house to go to a club in knee-high boots, a knee-length skirt.
Those boots were a thing at that time.
That skirt length was not 90s. 90s,
yes, it was. Totally. Well,
90s was just past your vagina.
Like, that's not even true. Okay, I mean...
We
don't need to get this far into fashion, but there is, like, at least several different styles that were happening in the 90s.
No, absolutely. But, like, I'm going to a club with a bunch of, like...
Yeah, no, but it's supposed to make her, like...
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah, but, like, I love that she goes to Kerry Washington's house and she's like, do I look okay? And she's like, mm-hmm.
I'm like, why did she say no then? She could have helped her.
Yeah, and they wait until she's, like, outside the club to, like, fucking, like... I'm like, dude, that's, like...
Let's get in your car. Well, let's fix this. I'm like, you could have fixed this 15 minutes ago.
Like, Kerry Washington could have lent her some clothes.
That's exactly what I thought.
And I completely thought she was, like, gonna put her in, like, some, like really bad, like, hip-hop stuff. And, like, she was gonna get shit for it. Like, ooh, white girl thinks she can wear FUBU. What the fuck? Like, I thought she was gonna get shit. But no, they just, like, tuck her hair back up in her shirt. So, the chair dance scene between the two of them, or, like, the chair dancing, that's just the choreography for the Backstreet Boys music video, As Long As You Love Me.
Okay, I saw that online, and I was like, no!
And then I watched music, and I'm like, oh, it full on is.
I'll have to look it up later. It
completely is.
That's fantastic.
So, Kerry Washington was 22, and she had just finished college, and Julia Stiles was 19, and she started Columbia right after this movie premiered. So, like, they were actually pretty good at getting teenagers to play teenagers. Like, 22 to 19.
As close as Hollywood likes to get.
Yeah, and Isabella Mika and Julia Stiles are only a month apart in age. Like, they have, like...
So what you're saying is they should have cast Isabella from the beginning?
Yes. So, the thing is, the sequel happens 6 years later, but it's supposed to happen, like, 3 months later in movie time. So, Mika Kelly is 25 playing a high school, a college freshman. Mika Kelly.
Isabella
Mika Grace Kelly. That's what my brain just did. Isabella Mika was 26 playing an 18-year-old college freshman. Which, okay, issues with her being 18, which we'll get to later. Sean Patrick Thomas was 31. Just straight up 31 playing an 18-year-old.
Yeah, that's pretty normal, though.
And he was also Ronald, the cello teacher in Cruel Intentions.
I have seen that movie once, so I do not remember.
We're gonna watch Cruel Intentions as soon as this podcast, right?
Sure thing.
Oh my god. But yeah, for any of you who listened to our earlier episodes, he's the cello teacher from the original movie, not from the shitty sequel. So the director is Thomas Carter, who also did Swing Kids. I loved Swing Kids.
Never heard of that.
You didn't have to watch that in history class?
We grew up together at the same school. What did I miss?
We're not at the same school. I had to watch it in high school.
Oh, okay, there we go.
No, it's a bunch of kids in World War II Germany, and they like the swing dance because it's like American music, and they're like, this is by black people.
Well,
you can't dance to this. And they're like, no, we're the swing kids. And like half the kids are Jewish, and it's super sad. And Christian Bale gets the shit kicked out of him, and then bleeding from the mouth, stares down a Nazi and aggressively sings, "It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. No. Do what? Fucking incredible. It's amazing. It's like teenagers in Nazi Germany, we just want to dance. It's like Footloose during Nazi Germany.
I have like a goal to watch every Christian Bale movie ever. I have an obsession. Okay. So if it is him, I will get there.
I'm so sure it's Christian Bale. He also directed Coach Carter, which I vaguely remember.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. The name's familiar. Wait, is it about basketball?
I think so.
Sounds like it would be.
Oh, other fun fact, Snooki from Jersey Shore straight up got the nickname Snooki from this movie, which I find fucking hilarious.
I think it's so great.
And that Snooki is a male character, and she's just like, don't give a fuck.
Wait,
it's Christian Bale. It's Christian Bale. Oh my god.
Okay.
My swing boys.
Swing boys.
My swing boys, swing kids. So the sequel, they lose. Well, first of all, they lose the entire original cast, which I could have logically seen because it's her going from high school to college in a different city. But they recast Julia Stiles as Isabella Mika. She's from Coyote Ugly. She's from Step Up 5. She's from...
What?
Yeah.
Step Up 5?
5.
I never knew it got that far.
It was the last one, 2014.
I never saw anything past the second. And
pretty
after
much
that, I was like,
any
okay.
shitty dance movie you've seen in the past 10 years, Isabella Mika was probably in it.
That's so interesting.
She's in, everything. But she's not, leads in a lot. It's just, Sassy Backup Dancer 7. She's a really, really accomplished dancer. She's literally a ballerina from communist Poland. She's incredible. So the only creative team that they share with the original is Robert Court, who is the producer, but the rest of the directorial, creative, music, everyone else is different. Fun fact, and I just
what about the choreographer?
Different.
Okay.
Which I could tell. Because there's good choreography in the sequel.
But then,
sorry,
I looked up the person from the original, and, she's choreographed for, so many famous people.
But they had to choreograph to Julia Stiles' skill level.
I mean... That is very true.
And just a fun fact, the actress who plays the racist lady in the first one, her name is Brenda Pickelman.
The racist lady?
On the train in the original.
Oh, I love that scene.
Oh, fucking love that scene. Okay, I want to talk more about the original, just, ambiguously, because there's so much to talk about. Julia Stiles can't dance.
She really can't.
Period. She can't dance ballet.
Oh, I literally wrote
secondhand
embarrassment when Sarah first dances at the club. I was like,
okay, Sarah at the club is legitimately Chelsea's first experience in a club in New York in college.
Oh gosh.
I don't know how anything works. I don't have the right ID. I don't know what to order at the bar, but it's gonna be
You know what?
wrong.
I'm 26 and I still don't know what to order at the bar.
Vodka soda. They can't fuck it up. You can't go wrong.
There you go.
But it's just I don't know how to dance. All my friends left me. What do I do? It's so bad.
Yeah.
But okay, here's my question. First of all, why did she get a second audition for Juilliard?
Right. I don't understand that either. You messed up. I could understand
because
waiting a year, right? Schools will do that. You can audition the next year or whatever.
Yeah, but then
this is 6 months later.
Shouldn't she be senior year? Sean Patrick Thomas has already gotten his acceptance letters to Georgetown before she even has her Juilliard audition. Shouldn't college...
Do we know she's a senior? Could he be a year ahead of her?
Why would you audition your junior year?
I don't know. You think I know how this stuff works?
For me, Chelsea the theater kid is about to come out. I'm sorry. So the way that I had to get into theater programs, or not get into theater programs, because I didn't get into a single one.
Aww.
So you got in... It worked two ways, which was either you auditioned for the school and submit your application simultaneously.
Okay.
And, you do them within the same month of each other, and...
they take it all into account at one time.
Yeah, and so, there were schools, you got into the school, you did not get into the theater program.
Okay.
And I don't know if the reverse can happen, where it's girl, if you'd have gotten in, but
you didn't. Is that what happened with where you went?
No. Or you can audition for you can submit to the school, they accept 150 people to the theater program, and then you audition, and only 50 actually get into the theater program, but you can still go to the school, which is what happened at Pace.
Okay.
So I got into Pace, as well as Marymount Manhattan. Yeah, I got into Marymount Manhattan, bitches. Boston
I have
University.
never heard of this school before.
It's a bunch of theater schools in New York. So I got into a bunch of... I applied to 12 schools, and I got into 8. I got into a lot of fucking schools.
That is solid.
And one of the ones I got turned down from was Yale, which, duh, that was gonna happen. I applied for Yale knowing I wasn't getting it. I had to. So I got into 8 schools. I think I auditioned for 5 or 6 of their theater programs, and I didn't get into any. And there were schools where they had a non-audition theater program. They're anybody can get in. I'm
but that's not the kind of theater program.
Sounds like it sucks.
Which
was maybe rude of me, and I'm sorry to anyone who didn't get into
if you're trying to pursue it as some kind of career, you want to be somewhere where they're being a little more selective.
Exactly. So I didn't get into a theater program anywhere, so then that completely adjusted where I went to college and blah, 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 and I should have gone to Emerson and not Pace. Sorry, Pace. You did me dirty. Emerson, I wish I'd gone to you, but you were in Boston and not New York, so you lose.
Boston's pretty cool.
It is, and I liked Boston when I visited it, but it was just like, New York!
Yeah, I know, I think since I've known you, you wanted to go to New York.
And here's the issue, is when I visited New York, I was visiting, like, the Upper West Side, the Upper East Side, Soho. Like,
where's Pace?
The financial district. At the fucking bottom of the island, where there's no fucking nightlife, and if there's a bar, it's full of 40-year-old Wall Street douchebags. And, like, literally, I went to New York for a week for my Marymount Manhattan audition, because most schools do, like, an audition in LA and an audition in New York, which is very nice.
Okay.
Like, and a bunch of schools clump their auditions together. Like, I auditioned for 4 schools at once at one audition in LA, which is
awesome.
Very nice, because they understand, like,
right.
Kids can't afford to fly.
From school to school to school.
And especially for a person like me, like, where I auditioned at 8 schools. This is boring theater stuff for everyone else, I'm sorry. So I auditioned for, like, 4 schools at once. Rejected only once. But Marymount Manhattan, because they're a very small school, you had to fly out to audition. So I stayed with my friend Michael Kirsch. Thank you, Michael. He dated Katie Laycock.
Okay.
So he went to Marymount Manhattan. So he's like, come, stay in my dorm. I was like, where's a good hotel? He's like, bitch, my dorm. What the fuck are you talking about? So I spent a week in New York with a bunch of cool college kids who went to Marymount Manhattan on the Upper East Side. And, like, we did all this Upper East Side shit. So, like, I did all of that. And then, like, I went to Boston for a week with my mom. And I was like,
so you're like, this isn't cool.
Boston's cool, but, like, fucking New York, like, Dean and DeLuca and, like, Upper East Side. And, like, I feel like I'm living in Gossip Girl. And I walk past the Met every day to get coffee. And then I got into Pace. And I had never visited Pace's campus. And I'm like, I'm gonna go here. And literally, I, like, got out of my taxi and, like,
what have I done?
What is this shit? What is this? No, and the thing with Pace was you could audition into the theater program. Later, wow, we're 30 minutes in, we're not even in the sequel. Sorry, guys. I might cut a lot of this.
Yeah, it's cool.
Once you're at Pace, you can continue to audition for the theater program, which a lot of other schools are like, once you're not in, you're not in.
Okay.
So I figured with Pace, I could try and get in multiple times, tried 3 times, did not get in. So, like, knowing what I know now, I, A, should have gone to Emerson, B, should have just gone to Marymount Manhattan, not in the theater program, and been in the part of New York I wanted to be in.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, Julia
you know
Stiles.
what? You had a journey there.
I did.
I applied to one school, I went to it, I graduated there. It was very boring.
And how much debt are you in?
$0.
Fuck you. Pace was $50,000 a semester.
Holy shit. Well,
I had mad scholarships, to be fair.
That's cool.
And then I went to the hospital and I lost my scholarships.
Right.
And my senior year was entirely out of pocket. And I don't like to talk about it much in debt.
Let's move this on.
It's bad. Sequel! Shit show of a sequel. First of all, Isabel Nika can dance. Like a motherfucker.
Yes.
She can dance so well. But it opens with the weirdest thing. She's, like, being interviewed.
It felt like a Disney Channel original movie.
It felt like you're watching Disney Channel.
Yes, because there's a green screen that she keeps, like, dancing in front of, and then sometimes being interviewed in front of.
I literally wrote Disney Channel original movie.
Oh my gosh.
I literally wrote Disney Channel original movie.
I did not, but I just thought of it, because I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that, like, setup before.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm in front of a green screen and I'm dancing, aren't I crazy?
Yeah, and, like, on the green screen, there's lights, and then there's a city and cars driving by.
And there's, like, videos of her being a little kid, like, dancing around. And, like, and she's like, oh, my mom said I learned a pirouette before I could dance, and I fell on my ass doing those. I'm like, whoa. Because the original is, like, gritty and dark and sad and, like, examinations of racism and, like, the culture and the world we live in.
Which this one was not.
This one was about dancing and dancing.
Just about dancing.
And also dancing.
And it also took me about 20 minutes into the movie to realize that it wasn't like a... You know how they'll do sequels where it's, like, completely separate? Like, Bring It On. Right?
Or like a Cinderella story, where it's, like, just entirely
it's
different
like a totally different thing, different people. It took me, like, 20 minutes to figure out that she was supposed to be the same.
Sarah Johnson?
Yes.
Which, like, why didn't they just do that?
Like, make it a different story?
Yeah.
I don't know, because they could have made, like, a more interesting or more relevant backstory, because how am I supposed to believe that someone says, hey, you shouldn't have a boyfriend, it's going to be a distraction, and then boom, she doesn't have a boyfriend, even though the whole first movie was, like, setting up this great relationship?
And everyone's trying to pull them apart because, like, they shouldn't be together because she's white and he's black, and, like, and they fought, and they're like, fuck what the world says, we're going to be together, except he went to Georgetown, and that's, like, a 20-minute drive, so.
Yeah, so we're done. I was like,
Because Georgetown is in Washington, D.C., and she's in New York. That's honestly like a 2-hour train ride. It's not that bad. Okay, it's like more like 4 hours.
Yeah,
but
I'm like,
still,
I think you got your time sprung there, but
like,
you know.
they're both on the East Coast. Like, it's not like, New York, L.A.
Yes.
Like, they could have seen each other on
and
the
I'm not
weekends.
saying, like, every high school relationship has to, like,
No.
But...
For how hard they fought.
Right, and how, like, the amount of time that I think we're supposed to assume has passed between the end of the first movie and then her going to Juilliard, it doesn't seem like it's supposed to be a lot of time.
And she, like, throws it away. She's like, oh, yeah, we broke up. So anyway, I love kissing. The only thing I love more than dancing is kissing. I'm like, since fucking when?
Wait, did she say that?
She fucking straight up says.
Wow, I think I missed
She's like,
that.
I love dancing. I love hip-hop, Kanye. And she, like, lists a bunch of artists. She's like, oh, and kissing. Can I say that?
Nope, I remember that.
I love kissing. The only thing I love more than kissing is dancing. I'm like, who the fuck is this? This is not Julia Stiles. What the fuck? Like, not, like, obviously actress Julia Stiles, but, like, the character.
The character was so different.
Because Sarah Johnson in the first is, like, a tortured, heartbroken, every day's agony without her mother.
But she also seemed like a real person.
And real intelligent and, like, intellectual and, like, introverted. And this bitch is like, party, it's Sarah Johnson. Like,
I'm so cute. Look at my other cute friends.
And then, like, okay, and the other thing that bugged me was, like, in this pseudo-weird interview, which we never understand what it's for, she's talking about, like, I love hip-hop. And she, like, lists off, like, a bunch of artists like she's a fucking aficionado. I'm like, you've known about hip-hop for maybe 6 months.
That's true. I think that's why I didn't realize it was supposed to be the same character. Because that whole, like, character setup right there did not make sense.
No.
At all. Because you're right, like, she didn't know hip-hop.
Like, and that pissed me off in this, that she just acted like, hip-hop? Yeah, I fucking know hip-hop. What, you think I'm just some white bitch from the suburbs? Yes, you are.
Yes.
Your black boyfriend introduced you to hip-hop and
he also basically choreographed your Juilliard audition for you.
And gave you any of this confidence, moves, history, knowledge. Because, like, that, like, first day of hip-hop class, where... Well, we'll get to that. We have to do it in order. So, she and Dean broke up because he went to Georgetown. Literally the tone and, like, acting and, like, sets of this movie feel like a Disney Channel original movie.
Yeah.
Straight up. We both thought it. We both felt it. So she meets her roommate.
Hold on. I got a point exactly right here. She meets her roommate, and I'm like, I like this girl. She's cute, whatever.
She's the quirky brunette.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know, she's helping her bring her stuff into the dorm, right? And there's the box.
Oh.
With the Barbie heads.
Which is never explained?
No, and, like, Sarah does not seem to think it's that weird. And
she, like, makes a joke. She's
about
like,
how Ken's, like,
There's, like, a top hat, a skull, named Hamlet.
Which, wow, way to be obvious.
And a box of Barbie heads. And Sarah's just like, I always knew Ken was a serial killer.
And then, that's it.
No, your roommate is a serial killer.
Yes, I'm like, no, you see a box of Barbie heads, you are getting a new roommate.
Barbie heads. Like, so, like, it was supposed to be like, oh, she's a quirky actress and she has all these, like, she's got a top hat because she's an actress. She's got a skull because, like, she has to practice Hamlet. But, like, Barbie heads doesn't read actor. That reads legit psychopath.
Yes, crazy. Like, are you doing spells with them? Like, what is happening? Are you, like, making voodoo dolls? I don't know.
If she was a weird art student, I would have gotten box of Barbie heads.
I could have gotten that, absolutely.
Like,
but that is not who she was.
But yeah, box of Barbie heads is never explained. So then they're at this assembly, which is like, welcome to the school. And she meets Miles. And he's like, you look like a trombone player.
And I was like, wow, innuendo match? Okay.
Miles?
What? Sorry, the trombone?
Oh. Because he wants to trombone her.
I was like, wait, did they mean for that? And then a couple seconds later, like, he mentioned something again, like, about how she looked like she would play. And I was like, yeah, they did that on purpose. Yeah. But at first, I wasn't sure.
You look good with something in your mouth. And she's like, I'm a prima ballerina. He's like, you look primo, but not like a ballerina. I'm like, no, Isabella Mika absolutely looks like a ballerina. This joke doesn't track.
Yeah, that's true. She definitely
does. This scene was written when they still thought they were getting Julia Stiles.
Okay.
I can see Julia Stiles in this, like, I am a ballerina. And he's like, you don't fucking look like one. Like,
yeah.
And, okay, also, Isabella Mika is dressing like Julia Stiles does in, like, the final scene of the original, where it's like, hip-hop now.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, not necessarily. Like, you're still white Julia Stiles. Like,
yeah.
You dressed hip-hop to, like, go to hip-hop clubs, but at school, minus the braids.
I was just gonna say,
we need to talk
about that it was one consistency. There were a lot of braids in the first one, a lot of braids in the second one.
The more black adjacent Julia Stiles gets in the original, the more braids she has.
Yeah.
Because the first day of school, her hair's just down. Second time you see her, hair's up in a ponytail. When they take her to the club, it's up in the bun do-rag.
Yep.
Next day at school, she's got one braid. Next day, she's got pigtails. Then she's got some like Lizzie McGuire
with some like random braids, but also straight hair.
Which was a look in the 90s. It was a look,
and like, let's bring this back, y'all. Like,
and in the final scene, she has like faux twisted, curled, braided cornrows, which problematic as fuck. But okay.
Yep.
Did you read that article from Huffington Post?
No.
Oh my god. I debated bringing it up, which is how would have Save the Last Dance been different if it was written in 2016? And it was like,
that's
I'm gonna forget his name now. Oh, like Dean would have been part of like the Black Lives Movement.
Dean?
Not Dean. Wow.
Derek?
Derek, there we go. My handwriting is that bad. Like, Derek would have been part of the Black Lives Movement for like his friend Malachi, like, no, we gotta be on the right side of history. We can't all be angry black guys.
Yeah.
Like, the social media would have been a bigger aspect of it rather than, like, I heard, I saw. She would have corrected her grammar from slammin' to lit.
You know what? I don't hate slammin'. I found it very funny.
I love slammin'. And one was like, Nikki would have given her some shit about her cornrows, and we would have agreed with her. And I'm like, yup.
Wait, hold on. Going back to Nikki, her outfit the first night in the club, I was obsessed with like the black sleeves.
Aaliyah. Wow. Chelsea is white. Chelsea is white. She's not, though. But no, she looked like Aaliyah.
Yes, 100%. And I was like so into that outfit and her like hair with the like pieces cut down in front because I've been trying to bring that back for 15 years.
To do that for like where you have like 4 pigtails and then like the piece. I want to pull that off so fucking bad. But I can't.
You know what? What did they do last year? That was like the big thing. Everybody was doing those little buns again.
The sock buns. I did that for Halloween and then I'm like, this is a look. I could wear
I wore
this.
it to work once. That was a choice.
Well, I was gonna wear it to work and then I realized at home that I couldn't because I have to wear a headset at work. Sure. And like the pigtail buns either had to be too far back or they had to be too far forward for my headset. And I was like, damn it. Like that was a look. Like, because I did it on Halloween where I was panda and they were my ears. So I was like, oh fuck, oh well. But no, like on the weekends I pulled that look off like 2 or 3 times. It's fun. But yeah, but just like new Sarah is like, oh, this is just how I dress, and her hair is in braids constantly. Dude, those fishtail pigtail braids she had were cute as fuck.
Oh, I was thinking it. I was like, that's the point when I made a note about the braids because I was like, okay, they're like trying to track that back to the first one. Yeah. And then I was like, can I do that? And mostly, I don't have the patience, but I'm into the look.
You could do fishtail pigtail braids. You could. You can't do that, like, box braid thing that, like, Kylie Jenner's trying to pull off.
Oh, yeah, no.
You can't do that. But
I mean, I've done it, but...
No, you can't pull it off. That
is rude. But fair. No, I look adorable. You do not know. No, I really would only do that around my house.
Not just the French braid pigtails, the box braids.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Where you've got, like, the thick of twigs baby hairs thing.
Well, I'm white, so I don't got those.
Yeah, but, like, that's what Kylie is trying... Yes. That's what I'm saying you can't pull off.
Yeah. Well,
you're allowed to
I'm not trying to be black, so...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm black and I don't try to pull that shit off. Even though I have baby hairs. So, the dean is like, look to your left, look to your right. By the end of this year, 2 of you won't be here. And I'm like...
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, and the 2 of you who don't be here, you'll be working at a Barnes & Noble. Aww.
I just wrote on here, rough.
Barnes & Noble. Or be working at a cosmetics counter in Buffalo. I'm like, that speaks more to the shittiness of the degrees that come out of Juilliard.
Well, I think she was saying they wouldn't get through Juilliard. Like that only a third of them were going to be successful in their craft.
She said successful in their craft. But, like, I
think I assumed it to be that they wouldn't graduate. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it could be that, but there are schools where they have cut programs, which are just brutal, which is they accept 100 students freshman year, and at the end of your freshman year, 50 of you are out of the theater program, and at the end of your sophomore year, 25 more of you are out, and only 10 people graduate senior year. So your junior year of college, you can lose your entire major.
Wow.
Isn't that fucking insane?
Yeah, you actually have to be crazy to go through with that.
I got into a couple schools with cut programs, and I was like, fuck no.
Yeah.
Fuck no. That's terrifying. And that's like when you get all those like 6 and 7 year seniors, and they're like, yeah,
I had to start over.
It's not because, or like people just double major, like.
Knowing, like, if it doesn't work out, at least I got the second one on.
Yeah, but then they're like, oh, well, you're not as dedicated because you double major because you're preparing yourself for failure. It's like, no.
Wow.
But yeah, cut programs are vicious. So I was just assuming it was a cut program situation, but if it's Juilliard, you might just be straight up cut out. You're right.
I don't know how that works, so I
don't either.
I don't cut program, but I just took it to mean, like, they would be done with the school.
I went to one Juilliard, like, informational meeting my junior year of college and was like, oh, fuck no. Juilliard, it was crazy. They came to OSHA. I went to a creative arts high school, so we had colleges come to us because we were fancy.
Okay, colleges go to not fancy colleges.
No, but we had, like, Juilliard and, like, ABT. Like,
okay.
We had theater schools come
you.
to us.
Got you.
So Juilliard came, and it was mandatory. Because like, most of them were, like, optional. Like, Yale is coming, go or don't go. Columbia's coming, go or don't go. Juilliard came, they're like, every fucking single senior, you need to go.
Right.
Because Juilliard
that's, like, the goal.
This is the goal. And, like, they gave this whole, like, fucking hour-long talk, and, like, half the room, or I would say 80% of the room went, oh, fuck no. Juilliard's out of my brain. I'm done. I don't want to think about it. And 20% of the room went, I want it. Which is exactly what they want.
Right. They want the people who want it.
And
they
it's like,
want the people who aren't scared.
Yeah. And it's like, you have to live on campus all 4 years. You are not allowed to have an outside job. You are not allowed to live off campus. You are not allowed to perform outside of Juilliard. Your class days are 12 hours long, 6 days a week. I'm like, what the fuck?
No.
That's too... Nope. Which, and I think they came my freshman or sophomore year, because like, I was like, that's fucking insane. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, Juilliard's intense, so maybe you're just straight cut from the school. And
the next part, I don't know if you have anything else to say about that, but then she goes on to, like, meet her mentor?
Yeah.
Why was she so aggressive right away?
And then she was nice, and then she was mean again.
Yeah.
So, her mentor, I never Katrina. Katrina's the mentor's name. So, she's like, hi, I'm your mentee. I'm really excited to be at Juilliard. And she's like, first step, stay out of my way. Second step, I'm taking your cake. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I was very lost.
I'm like, why is she being so mean? And then Zoe meets her mentor, and she's like, where do you get your eyebrows done?
Yeah, well, and then she's like, you're so cute. And I wrote on here, he's not.
He's really not.
And he's wearing 2 polo shirts, which is so of the
time.
time.
And the mentor never comes back.
Nope, never.
So then Katrina is, like, leading Sarah, like, to dance class, and she's like, never date an actor. They all have ballerina fetishes. Always do this. Always do that. Which is that supposed to be, like, Chenille's, like, intro to the high school scene? Where, like, she picks up her backpack.
Yes.
And she's like, that's how easy it is to donate to charity. Don't put your shit on the floor. Like,
yeah.
I love that whole scene.
Do you have a list of quotes from the first one you like? Because I do.
I do!
The second one, I have,
we do them at the end.
2. I'm just saying.
We do our quotes at the end.
Okay.
But, I wouldn't bust a cap in your ass.
That's what my list is for. I would never.
Okay, cut that, because we have to save that for later. Oh my god. But no, I have like 12 quotes written from the original. They're so good.
Yeah.
And the sequel is like, I've got a sort of funny one.
I forgot until like 3/4 of the way through the second one. I was like, none of this stood out.
But that's the thing, is you shouldn't have to look for your quote.
No.
A quote should hit you so hard that you're like, I
want to remember this. Yeah. And this was not.
And like whenever I have to look for a quote, I'm like, there's no real movie.
Yeah.
So she's like, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is how you do the dance. This is how you do the thing. Put your shit in here. Put your locker over here. And so they're in dance class stretching. And Katrina's like, get to the bar right now. She's like, what? She's like, get on the bar. And she just like goes to the bar. And like 10 seconds later, the teacher opens the door.
Yeah.
And she's like, learn from this girl's experience. At 9:29, you should be stretching ready. And at 9:30, you should be ready to go. The rest of you need to learn. And Katrina looks at her like, you're welcome, bitch. I'm like, so are you nice or me?
Yeah. It was so back and forth the whole time.
Literally by the end of the movie, I couldn't understand.
No, I had so many notes about this girl because I like did not get it. She was her mentor, so I assume she's been at Juilliard more than a year.
She's at least a junior or senior.
Also, she's like in the class because she didn't seem like she was a TA type thing because she was participating.
Yeah, I thought she was like an assistant at first, but then later on, but she never.
But then she gets cast as the lead in the show.
She never gets put in a line.
That's true.
So I wonder if like she was a TA, but like a
also
TA
who's the lead at the recital,
who's demonstrating the steps because the teacher is old enough that she can't do the moves. No,
Maybe.
Because you usually do have like a 50, 60-year-old dance teacher, and they just have like their like dance avatar.
Yeah,
who's an older student.
I get that.
So I think Katrina was, like, her, like, because she's like, oh, she's her protege. She's her this, because they say that a couple times. So I think that she wasn't participating in the class. She was just doing the moves as, like, this is what you should look like. But yeah, but Katrina rockets back and forth between, like, I'm a bitch, fuck you, figure out your own shit, but also let me help you.
Yeah.
Which, like, I think that was supposed to be tough love, and it was just done poorly.
Yeah, it was really bad.
But then by the end, it wasn't tough love, it was straight up competition.
Yeah.
Which I think I get why, which I'll get back to, whatever.
Okay.
So then, she meets up with Zoe, who fell off her stilts in circus class.
Oh! Okay, that is crazy. Also, Zoe... Oh, no, I have to search in my notes. She was, like, so familiar to me, and I looked her up, and I don't know the actress,
Yeah.
but then I figured out she has, like, the same voice and, like, facial mannerisms as Mary Louise Parker. And then she's also a lot like, one of the girls who was, like... Oh, God. Sabrina the Teenage Witch's best friend.
Oh my god, that's what it is! Oh my god!
She's like both of them, and I was like, whoa.
She is. Oh no, but she was driving me nuts, because I'm like, she's something.
Yeah, and I think I had seen something on her IMDb that she was in, but it was like, you know, like an episode of CSI or something.
Yeah, I was
you
like,
know?
is she
and I was
the
like,
nerdy
no.
girl from High School Musical? What is it? Because she's like, her actions were familiar, too.
Yeah. She was so familiar, but...
Yeah.
Nah, she was just a combination of a bunch of other people.
So they're an intro to hip-hop theory. Issues with
questionable.
That, straight up.
Questionable.
No, not that the class exists.
No, the way it was being taught.
Way it was being done. And then, like, I thought he was the TA, and then it's like, oh no, he's a guest lecturer.
Yeah, I didn't get that until
they straight up said.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, then how much older is he than her?
Oh.
And if he's a guest lecturer, why was he at orientation?
Oh, this movie's a mess.
Okay,
that doesn't make any sense.
Because at first I thought he was a TA, like he's a student and he's like covering for the teacher. But then later on, they're like, I can't believe you returned to the scene of your demise, or whatever they fucking say. And then he's like, oh, you're not a professor, you're just a guest lecturer. I'm like, so he's not affiliated with Juilliard. Oh, because he dropped out.
But yeah, then why was he at the orientation?
Scoping out the honeys. So...
Or his mom made him. Spoiler alert.
I didn't see that coming because it was not well done.
Nope!
Not because it was a twist.
I've got a whole thing in here
but because
about
it wasn't well done at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the end, guys. We're gonna be... You have to kind of talk about this movie backwards to talk about how much it doesn't make sense.
Because things are just brought up and dropped, and then things just pop up at the end.
So the ballet class, or the hip-hop class, he's got, like, Franz. Oh, Franz.
That was his name, huh?
Franz. He's got, like a fucking, like, DJ mix table, and he's like, what is hip-hop? Hip-hop is the study of da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyone else have questions?
It's jazz. It's this.
It's blues. It's jazz. It's funk. It's an amalgamation of everything. It's history and the future. I'm like, you're like that professor. It's like his first year of teaching and he thinks he's really hot shit.
Yeah.
And that's literally what he was. And then he's like, oh, anyone else know what hip-hop is? And Sarah raises her hand and he, like, throws a mic at her. And she's like, oh, I didn't even write down what she said. And she's like, and she gives, like, a very, like, dictionary,
scientific,
like, history. Yeah. It's like, hip-hop is the study of rhythm and blues music as involved in the 1990s through artists such as Suge Knight. And then it, like, it's a very scientific name, or scientific explanation. And he's like, that's part of it. And then she passes the mic back, and the DJ mixes her answer into the song. It's like, hip-hop is, hip-hop is. I'm like, I
mean, it was kind of cool. Didn't seem like a class, though.
No, not at all. And the board is just, like, genres of music written with bubbles around them. Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason.
And I was like, wait, did he get to that class a half an hour early to this classroom to draw all those bubbles?
And set up a sound equipment.
Yeah.
So...
What an effective, useful, time.
Yeah. But it's so fucking nuts. Oh, and he's like, oh, no, we have to get to it. And he's like, hip-hop actually boils down to 3 words. I am here. And Zoe's like, he's so bad. And I wanted so bad for Sarah to go, you mean slammin'. I thought that's what she's gonna do. Like, he's so cool, and you're like, slammin'. So then Miles and the DJ invite Zoe and Sarah to go to the club, which I'm like, conflict of interest. possibly illegal. What the fuck?
Wow, I was like not putting all this together because at that point I
thought
was
he was
still
a
thinking
student.
he was a student.
But even if he's a TA, that's fucked up.
Yeah, because grades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, especially if he's a TA who's essentially going to be teaching the class.
Yeah.
I got a real creep, and I don't think it was intentional at all. I got a real creep vibe from Miles. Because, like,
I didn't.
Because
but...
if nothing else, he's a senior in college, and she's 18, if not 17. And he's inviting her to a club.
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
Okay, and she
I think I suspended a lot of disbelief for this, so...
But she and her roommate drank constantly through the movie with no issue.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whole thing in the first one, like, oh, we have to get her fake ID. And, like, even in this one, it's like, oh, I can't get in there. And she's like, oh, I have a fake. Like, if they, like, but, like, she's, like, just drinking wine and drinking vodka with no issue. Like, so they get to the club. I forget the name of it. Is it Steps? Or
it's not Steps. That's the first
Steps
one.
is the first
Steps
one.
is cool.
Steps. There's just a car in the middle of this club. It's just
There's a car?
vintage car in the middle of the dance floor.
I must have missed that somehow.
Franz and Zoe are making up against it at the end.
I remember them making out. I still can't
They're
picture
up
the
against
car.
the hood of the car.
Wow.
And so they're
Mental
like,
block there.
let's go to the pit. And Sarah and Miles are like looking down. I don't know why it's called the pit. They're just on the top floor. And like all these kids are like hip hop dancing together. Or not together, like one at a time. And Miles is like, most kids don't even realize there's a history there. There's a shadow behind every move. Every step they take is into a footprint. Bigger than theirs. Bigger than them. And I'm like...
I was like, wow, they're really pushing this, like...
Jesus Christ. And Sarah's like, kind of like ballet. I'm like, no, not at all like ballet. Ballet was formulated 8,000 years ago, and it stayed exactly the fucking same.
And hip-hop is constantly evolving.
Yeah. And it's not like, oh, I do this move, because of this influence, because of that influence. I do my rond de jambe this way.
Because that's how you have to do it.
Because 400
every
years
time.
ago, a dick in Paris was like, this is how you do a rond de jambe. And before people argue that ballet evolves, it is. It evolved into contemporary ballet. But classical ballet is exactly the fucking same. It is.
You know, when you really put it like that, it sounds incredibly boring.
It does. It is.
And I mean, it's beautiful, but...
It is. It is absolutely beautiful. And that's the thing is, they're saying classical ballet is going away more and more. Because there's only so much you can do with it. It's the same 100 steps you can only put in so many orders.
Right.
Whereas contemporary ballet, it's I'm doing this move with a twist. Like, and that's infinite. You can do anything with it. But like, unless you're going to see like the Nutcracker or Coppelia or the Black Swan, you pretty know which 10 moves you're gonna see.
Yeah. Like,
and that's beautiful, gorgeous choreography. And like, no, you do the dance of the four swans and swan like.
You've seen it once, you've seen it 10 times.
And I can't remember what it's called, and everyone's going to yell at me. But the thing where it's the four girls holding hands.
Look at me like I know what that's called.
You've seen it before. But
I do
know what I'm talking
about. The
about.
concept, yes.
But, like, I had to learn that choreography 8 years ago. Yeah. And it's the same choreography that was done 200 years ago. And I bet if classical ballet is around, it's the exact same choreography they'll do 200 years from now.
Yeah.
It stays the same. So ballet is not at all growing and changing and evolving. And if you want to argue that it's contemporary ballet, it's not, because her whole issue with this movie is that classical ballet is too rigid. Anyway.
End tangent.
I'm gonna try really hard not to be like a dancer about this, but there's things that bug me. And also not to be like, as the token half black girl, but there's things that need to be said about this movie.
Things that I probably wouldn't think of or feel appropriate.
And people who want to shit on me and say I don't know what I'm talking about, whatever, I do. I've been a dancer since I was 2 years old. I was a professional. I toured nationally. I had a career in ballet and dance and theater until I was injured, and it all fell apart. I know what I'm talking about. Sorry. And I've been a black woman my whole life. So
some things you just can't change.
Step
to me.
Step to me, bitch. I'll rond de jambe you right in the fucking face. No, I can't rond de jambe all on the floor. I will grand jeté you in the face. There you go.
Will you dance circles around them?
No, I did, Tizzy. So
then we're introduced to like
Candy.
a bad girl, Candy. I wrote, the girl's name is Candy.
Who immediately gets thrown away. Like, Candy's like, ooh.
No, she's in the
But she's no longer like a villain.
Yeah, I was like, they're setting this up. Like, she's the new Nikki.
Nikki's villain to the end.
Yep.
And Candy's like, you all right? They have a dance
By
off.
the end of the dance off.
Ooh, okay.
They are friends.
But Candy's like dancing. I'm like, oh, she's like on All Right Dancer, and Sarah starts dancing, and I'm like, oh, damn!
Yeah.
Like,
shut it down.
It's not a contest. The fact that Candy threw a third step back, I'm like, girl, why? You just got murdered on that dance floor.
You've been served, so they say. You need to back it up.
It's over. Murder that dance floor. It's over. Like, Isabel Mika is like, and she's throwing out ballet moves, which I'm like,
right.
oh, like,
and the way she was like combining them in was awesome.
Yeah, which was the whole point of the first movie. Is like, hip hop and ballet aren't black and white; they're gray, and you can mix them together and look at these great things I can do. And it's very cool. And she just murders Candy, and then Candy's like, "You all right?" And they like shake hands, and they're like, "No, we're friends." I'm like, "Oh, there's that conflict. Bye."
You know what made me sad about that whole scene?
What?
None of the music in this movie is recognizable.
Fucking next sentence! I don't recognize a single song in this movie.
I was like, none of it. Not at all. And then I wrote, is that just me, question mark? Because I'm like, maybe I'm just like, I don't know my hip-hop. No. I started trying to soundhound the songs, and I was getting nothing.
And both of them were produced by MTV, so it wasn't like they couldn't get the rights.
Right. It was...
But I mean,
so bizarre.
I recognize music from the first one, and that's from 2001.
Well, some of the music in the first one, they still play in bars and clubs.
Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to pretend to sing that.
But like,
so good. And
I think that was one of I wanted to buy the CD after I saw the movie. Sure. And my mom was like, "Oh fuck no!"
Yeah, no.
But I'm like, I was like, I fucking love this music, and like, my dad's like, "This is shit was playing when I was in college."
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, it's still fucking great.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was because, like, Miles is writing original music, and, like, their whole dance battle was to his shit, but I'm like, none of it's recognizable.
But it's not like it was, like, all original stuff. He was
remixing
and sampling other things, but none of that was anything.
Of it was recognizable.
And the whole point of, like, sampling another song is you're trying to, like, piggyback on the notoriety of that song.
Even when Neo shows up later in the movie...
Hey, Neo!
It's not like a song that I'm like, oh, that's a Neo song.
Well, it was like before Neo was Neo, you know? Or at least, but I think it was like right before he was like...
But I mean, was it before like Mad?
I don't know.
But like that
when did this movie come out?
2006.
Yeah,
but I mean, it was probably done in 2005, released.
Right, sure.
Oh, by the way, the budget for the first one was like $13 million, and it made like $276 at box office. The budget for this one was $5 million.
They were like, we ain't even trying.
Nope.
And
that's the thing. Know. Music licenses cost money. So, I wonder if that was it. They just couldn't afford anything. So they dance, and they're all cool. The club empties out, and Zoe and the DJ friend Franz are, like, making out. And she's like, bye, Miles. And she, like, leaves all sexy. And then he pulls a tape recorder out of his pocket and records
the ambient sound
of an emptying club. And I'm like, that's some serial killer shit. What's happening? Okay, we're gonna get to a part with the tape recorder where I literally yelled out loud, "Ew!"
Oh, I know exactly. Because when he recorded the ambient sound, I was like, okay, I'm into it. I kind of like it. And then the part you're talking about, I was like, no.
I was sitting alone in my room and I went, "Ew! Ew!"
Oh.
Nope. And then he remixes it later.
I was like,
so gross.
Oh, there's a CD. What is this going to be? And then it plays, and I was like, nope.
Some serial killer shit. But that's what I mean. He's like at best, he's a 24-year-old because he's out of college, hitting on an 18-year-old.
The way I got it is he dropped out, so he might not wait. But then he's a guest lecturer. It is not clear what happens here. But it is clear that he doesn't continue his Juilliard education.
He must be at least 21 to be DJing in a club.
That is
He has to be. Bare minimum, he has to be 21. I think he's supposed to be a little bit older than that. Because he's supposed to have like I'm a mentor thing. And a guest lecturer. And she's 18, if not 17.
Let's give them the benefit of
the doubt that she's 18.
Yes, let's not make this a creepier thing than it needs to be.
It's still pretty creepy. He's still her guest lecturer by the end of the movie. It's not like, he was the guest lecturer for the first week, and then the professor's leg healed and he came back. Like, at the end of the movie, he's still her teacher, and they've hooked up. I'm like, that's creepy.
Wow. I just must have been very, in a chill mood when I watched this, because I was not even putting that together, but it is so not okay.
To be fair, and this is about to timestamp what day we recorded this on, I watched the first movie. So I watched the sequel, and then I watched the first movie, and then I watched the sequel again last night to refresh myself.
I watched it last night.
And right before I watched it, I watched Aly Reisman's 15-minute speech
You
to her
watched
coach.
it?
Everybody,
I just read the highlights.
This is a month later. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. If you've listened to it, listen to it again. Holy. She stares him dead in the eyes, and she's like, oh, that letter you read yesterday? How pathetic do you think it is that anyone would forgive you? You're worthless. I'm like, holy
deserve.
So I listened to that speech and then watched this movie, and I'm like, you're abusing your power!
Wow, that's a frame of mind to go into
so
it.
I didn't consciously go in like, you're a creeper, because I already knew he was creepy from watching it the first time with the whole tape recorder thing. But I'm just like, he's her teacher.
Yeah, I got issues now.
Why couldn't he just be the TA?
Yeah, that would have solved a lot of problems. The TA and, like, the professor's a loser and he never shows up.
Or, like,
you don't
he
even
comes
have to
in.
have him there.
Yeah, or, like, just make him the DJ in the classroom. Who's, like,
and get
cool
rid
and
of the other guy
remixes.
who is irrelevant.
He's really irrelevant, except for to be a boyfriend for the roommate. And so
Except
the professor...
for spoiler alert, he has my favorite line.
I think I know what you're talking about. But, like, have the professor be in here and he's like, Miles, why don't you throw it down? And, like, Miles throws down his, like, remix of, like, hip-hop is remix. And then he's a TA, and it's not as creepy. And he's like, oh, he's not a TA because he's not a student here. He's just my assistant. And then it's less creepy. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm getting into things about this movie that doesn't need to be, wow, we're already an hour in and we're, like, maybe 10 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
So Sarah is hungover the next morning from the sip of vodka she had from her friend.
Interesting. Yeah, we don't see her drink again.
Because she's very consciously
just have
not
to
drinking.
assume she does.
She just breaks down afterwards like, fuck it, I'll drink. So she's...
Isn't that how it always goes, though? That's my life story.
I saw this thing on like, Twitter or, like, Instagram, and someone's like, I think I just met my hero. She's my roommate in college. I asked her if she wanted to go out for a drink, and she said, all right, just one. And then we went to the bar, and she only had one. And then she went back to our room and kept working on her homework. I think she might be a god. Like, for real,
Look,
though.
I don't see the point in one. I'm just gonna say it.
One is stupid. But, like, wait, she said one and she meant it?
That's shocking.
She might be a witch. Like,
I say one, I mean four. Let's move on.
well, there's no point in one. There's no point. So Sarah's late for ballet. Oh, okay, so sorry. So in the ballet class, they're divided into 3 lines.
Right.
Line 1 is you're doing the best in the class. Line 3 is the worst. If you're in line 3 5 weeks in a row, you're cut. And they give her shit about being from Chicago. Which, Chicago has some really great dance schools.
Yeah.
Which I didn't understand.
Well, and I don't know why people were so aggressive to her right away. She had done nothing.
Like, they're like, oh, you're Sarah Johnson. You're that girl who got 2 auditions to Juilliard because her mom died. Like, no, but if there was something that was like, oh, you got a second audition. Oh, you're that one where they told her she got in the room before you even walked out. Oh, like, if there was some, like, legend surrounding her. But, like, they were just...
It just wasn't there.
Immediately mean. And, like, if they were all mean to each other, I'd get it. But it was like, everyone's mean just to Sarah.
Yeah.
And so Sarah gets put in line 2 the first day. And the boy who's wearing vinyl pants gets put in line 3.
Vinyl pants.
Which, I'm sorry, vinyl pants are a ballet thing. It's what you use to stay warm.
But, like, not while you're practicing, right? Isn't
No,
it, like...
during warm-ups, that's what you wear.
Okay.
So, because usually you're coming into the class, you minorly warm up, and then the first 15 minutes of class is a warm-up, and you're wearing those vinyl pants because your muscles are cold.
Okay.
Like, you know those hideous, like, they look like garbage bag pants that you see ballerinas wear? Like, they're really cute. They're sauna pants. They're literally meant to heat up your body.
Okay.
So, if he'd been wearing, like, basketball pants, I would have gotten, like, her shitting on it. But, like, those vinyl pants are legitimately ballerina pants.
Okay, but how annoying was it? Swish, swish.
Yeah, those sounds are really annoying. I've heard them in every dance class I've ever been in. How do you expect anyone to take you seriously when you go swish, swish? Everyone walks, and I was like, swish, swish, bish. I know, but that's all I could think. So Sarah is late, and she's put in the 3rd line, which is like, well, I don't know, not the 3rd line. And she's like, do you know what's behind the 3rd line? Nothing. But behind the 3rd line, you can drink all you want. You can eat cheeseburgers and cake and have a boyfriend and go to clubs and
I was like,
parties.
Yes, that's the life. Put me behind the 3rd line.
Talking about that 4th line. I think the name of this episode might be the 4th line.
Sign me up.
About that 4th line life. So she's put in the 3rd line, which is like, oh And so she goes jogging to clear her mind. She's staying late in the studio practicing. She's like,
okay,
reading.
hold on. But then there's the whole thing where the professor's leaving the studio or whatever, runs into Miles, thank you.
Oh!
And all of a sudden there's this tension, and there's like shit going on, and I was like, wait, did I miss something? Why do they have this relationship? I was so confused.
He's beatboxing in the hallway.
And she goes like she's never heard beatboxing in her life.
Was that you humming? He goes, no, I was beatboxing. It's humming 2.0. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I was like, interesting theory.
And she's like, oh, I just find it interesting. You can return to the scene of your demise so casually. And then they separate, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah! I was so lost. Like,
what's happening?
I really almost rewound. Like I'm watching this on a tape, y'all.
She did on a little VCR.
I'm like, yeah, VHS for life. No, like I almost backed out the whole movie and started it over because I was like, oh, I definitely missed a scene where we're supposed to learn the background between these two.
Yeah, because it was immediately so tense and like they were talking about shit like I'm like, huh?
And you don't find out why until the movie's almost over.
And then I have issues with when we find out.
Yeah,
whatever.
Anyways.
So she's like studying, she's working out extra, she's reading. The dance instructor is named Daphne?
No.
Monique Delacroix. I call her professor through a lot of my notes. Even though she's not a professor, she's a dance instructor.
I just wrote teacher a lot because I do not care.
Yeah. So she's reading her book, and it's like Life Beyond Point Shoes or something like that.
Yeah.
So Miles is like, why are you avoiding me? And she's like, I'm really busy. I need to practice. It's my first year in college at Juilliard. I kind of am busy. And he's like, what, you ain't got time for me? I'm like, abusive boyfriend.
Yeah.
Literally what happened to me my sophomore year of college. I had to cancel a date for finals. And my boyfriend's like, wow, so your education is more important to you than your work and than me? And I'm like,
yes.
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 No hesitation. No question. I've been dating you for 3 months, and I'm 20. Absolutely, my education is more important than my relationship. And then we broke up.
Solid. Way to go.
Yeah. It was, but, he's like, oh, you don't have time for me because you're in college? I'm like, yes.
I also thought these two were kind of moving in their quote-unquote relationship very quickly, even if it was just a friendship. So they meet at the orientation thing.
Yep.
She goes to the class.
Yep.
She goes to the club.
Yep.
They immediately walk up and give each other a big hug.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is not what I do within 2 days of meeting someone. Maybe, I mean, I'm not a hugger.
And especially not your teacher /TA /yes lecturer.
I was like, oh, they are like BFFs now. Okay, sure.
Yeah, and they immediately talk like they're best friends right away.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, I want to take you for cannoli. And she's like, no. And he's like...
So many phallic images in this movie.
Trombones and cannolis. What that mouth do, girl? What that mouth do? I want to see red around a cannoli. So he's God. Oh, a friend of mine is doing an art installation piece about graffiti through the ages. It's really great. Video, moving pictures, projection. It's great. He needs someone to choreograph a dance piece. What?
Yeah.
What? And this thing is presumably in a week. And he's like, I need you to choreograph it. She's like, first of all, don't have time.
Wait, no. Okay, it's not in a week.
Not the big one. But the
Isn't
initial
that the same
one.
Thing? Oh, that's right. Right.
There's 2.
Because we don't really see the first one.
At all.
She's outside
She's
the building.
She's just outside. And then I thought she was nervous to go in because it hadn't started. And then they're like, you were great. I'm like, so it already happened?
Oh,
what? Whatever.
Yeah, so many inconsistencies.
So, no. This is where the beatboxing happens.
What?
This is where the beatboxing happens. Because the whole art, and she's like, fine, I'll choreograph your thing. And she's like, oh, what are you doing talking to her? And then the whole beatboxing thing's happened.
Maybe I skipped
Maybe.
I might have skipped a scene in my notes.
Well, it goes flop. It's ballet class happens so many times. It's easy.
I know. Mine says class, solo in class.
Yeah, I did that too. So then she goes to ballet class. She's still in the 3rd line, and she's not sleeping. So her mentor gives her a bag of pills, and she's like,
yeah, I didn't see that coming, honestly.
I love that for the weight loss one, they made up a medication. So they're like, Zenithal. I'm like, that's not real. They're like, Zenithal is for weight loss, Percocet's for knee pain, and Ambien's when you just need to sleep. I'm like, okay, to be fair, Ambien's just okay. You can take Ambien and not be a drug addict.
It's the combination that becomes an issue.
Percocet's opioids are where the issue happens.
Right.
And the weight loss, obviously.
Yeah.
But, honestly, Ambien's just a nice thing to have in college. Your sleep schedule gets fucked. But I don't understand how she was simultaneously so tired and I can't sleep.
I don't think... Wait, you don't understand that?
I do!
Because it's called insomnia.
No. She's so physically exhausted.
Okay, yeah.
Because I can get, like, I can't sleep because, like, I'm so anxious. But, like, she's literally dancing 12 hours a day, I'm guessing. Like, there's a point where you just fall down.
Your body is
bone
done.
tired and just pass out.
Yeah.
Like, so from that angle, I didn't get it. So then we have a whole scene with Zoe and Franz that is supposed to be, like, her character arc, but who cares? Where she's like, they want me to be the quirky brunette. And, like, every show I've ever been in, I have to have the plaid skirt and the glasses and say funny quips, and the lead of this play is the quirky brunette, and they want me to read for the lead. He's like, congrats, you're the lead. She's like, you're not listening! I'm like, no, you're stupid.
No, I completely, like, wrote them out of this movie in my head.
Yeah.
Like, I did not write notes about those two. Like, they're irrelevant.
And she's like, if I'm the quirky brunette in this first play in school, I'll be the quirky brunette forever. And he's like, why don't you read for a different part? She's like, you're a genius. I'm like,
wow, you are not.
This is stupid. I don't care.
Yeah.
And also, it's the lead, bitch. Quirky brunettes are real popular these days. That's a really good, like, niche to fall into.
Yeah. Like, maybe you're not going to be the lead of every show, but you're going to be in every show.
Yeah. And, like, as someone who fought her type for, like, let's go back to...
We do not need to do this.
a little play called Sleepy Hollow.
Look, it is not my fault.
It's not your fault. But I was mad. I mean, at the time, this is 6th grade, 5th grade?
6th grade.
6th grade. We went to elementary school together, and we did Sleepy Hollow the musical, which isn't a real thing, guys, because it sucks.
It's another sleepy
holiday. Can't imagine any other way.
That's all I know.
In the morning, when
you would go more.
Sweet, when I close my eyes, you can steal something. Another Sleepy Hollow. It was so bad. So there's obviously like the love interest in Sleepy Hollow, which I, Chelsea, the fucking theater kid, wanted to be more than anything. And there was...
For the record, every girl wanted that.
Oh, absolutely.
Wanted that.
Everyone wants to be like...
Except for...
love interest.
Me.
Yes. And there was another part in the show that was like the crazy, funny teacher who's in like one scene and then not in the rest of the show.
And definitely screams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get up there, I sing my like beautiful like ballad like Aren't I the Lead?
This was heartbreaking.
And I literally have not stepped off stage. And a teacher who I have other issues with that I won't get into leans forward and goes, Chelsea, you're the funny teacher. We knew what part you were before you stepped on stage. And a lot of people got mad at me because they're like, you had a part before you even walked on stage. That's not fair. And I got mad. Then why did you even bother having me audition? That's not the part I wanted.
Right.
And Jessica, motherfucking, I'm not going to say your last name for the sake of your privacy.
It's okay.
Fortinberry. Got the romantic lead interest.
Okay.
She did not want it.
I did not want it, and this is why.
Everybody wanted it. And
Every girl wanted it.
Jessica wanted it.
I didn't.
You wanted the sister.
I wanted this other character whose name was Jessica.
Yes.
And of course, I thought that was great. And that was a singing part. The lead girl was not a singing part.
Yes. She was all acting.
I wanted to sing. Shout out to the teachers for recognizing that I cannot sing. Definitely thought I could. So it's a good thing they didn't give me the position that I wanted. But all the girls in school were mad at me because I got this
And
part.
I was really mad because I'm like, it's like...
All the girls in school.
All
the girls in one 6th grade class.
In one 6th grade class. No, because you were like real popular in elementary school. You were like the popular crowd. Don't argue it, you were. So like the class turned on you in a little
Hold on. I was part of several different crowds.
I think
one of them popular, and then...
You were more popular than me. Can we...
I wasn't including you in that popular crowd. I love you, but I wasn't. It was a different crowd altogether.
I was not popular in elementary school, which was devastating to me. There was a death threat made against me, so it was more than just like...
Yeah, there was some real messed up shit by the end of...
Real messed up shit in our elementary school.
I was just talking about this.
People got suspended.
Burn books. Y'all, don't do it.
Don't do burn books, y'all.
If your kids are doing burn books, wait, hold on. They got social media.
Don't put that shit online.
Yeah.
Don't do it. People literally
Don't be mean. Don't bully people.
People literally got suspended from our school and almost did not graduate. It was real ugly.
Yeah.
But I was mad because you and I were very good friends.
Yes.
And you were like, I don't even want this part. I don't want this part. I don't want this part. And I'm like, can you shut the fuck up? I want this part more than anything, and all you can talk about is how much you don't want this part.
I think I thought I was, like, trying To be humble?
You were. You totally were. But in my 5th grade brain, I was just mad.
Yeah. No, and I totally understand that.
Yeah. And we're over it, guys. We've moved on.
We're still friends. Another thing, I just want to say, I got the lead in several elementary school plays.
She did.
It's because I was very reliable.
She was completely trustworthy.
I was gonna be someone who would remember the lines. She was gonna learn her lines.
She was gonna, which our lead got cut a week before the show opened.
Yeah, our male lead.
Johnsel.
Was that who it was?
It was Johnsel. He got replaced by Prieto.
Yeah, wow. What a world.
Lifetime ago. But he was very much like, oh, I'm the charming lead. And like a week before the show opened, he did not have his lines.
Didn't know anything.
Blocking, singing. And they literally turned to another kid and were like, you're Ichabod Crane. And he picked that. Congrats to him, honestly. Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes for elementary school age, you have to pick someone who can do it, not necessarily do it the best.
For 5th grade, to learn a whole show and a lead part in a week, fucking claps to Joshua Prieto. We didn't get along, but respect to you. You were also the coyote.
2nd grade.
How the coyote saved the sun!
Yeah.
Stole the sun.
Stole the sun.
How do you spell Mississippi, Jessica?
MISSISSIPPI.
No. How do you spell it the wrong way?
MIPISIPISIS.
We did.
Look, I can spell Mississippi because of that song and bananas because of Gwen Stefani. Okay,
that shit is bananas. MISS. But yeah, we did a lot of shows together.
Yeah. I was also Paul Bunyan, y'all.
You were so many leads for a kid who did not want to be.
Well, no, when I was that age, that was like 2nd and 3rd grade. I was so into it. And they just kept giving me the boy parts because none of the boys were trustworthy.
And like all of the leads were boys.
Yeah.
And even in Sleepy Hollow, the lead is technically Ichabod Crane.
Yeah, no.
And they kept giving her the lead parts, which caused tiny rifts in our friendship because
because she literally does theater.
I was a professional theater person since I had been 3.
And I've been putting on skits in my living room playing dress up.
But I, pre-ADD diagnosis, was not a reliable person. I was a little shit in elementary school. I got in trouble a lot. I got distracted a lot. I'm not bringing it up on purpose.
This is amazing because I'm looking at her and we know the story that neither of us are going to bring up.
I still argue that I'm right. You still argue that you're right.
Yeah, no, we'll never get past this one.
Nope. We are 25 years old and we still argue who is right in this fight.
Yep.
No, I was a little shit in elementary school and I was not reliable and I was not someone you could depend upon, but I didn't see that. I saw that as, I'm the fucking theater kid.
Yeah.
Why aren't I getting
I'm trained.
The theater parts? And I think in 6th grade I auditioned for the talent show and they didn't let me in because they're like, you have other opportunities.
That's crazy.
I cried because I was in the talent show.
I also remember you being forced to sing a specific song.
Copacabana.
Yep. That was a thing.
That was the other thing. It's like, I always auditioned as a solo act and they're like, no, help the people who are less talented than you and be in their group.
I had to do that too. There was like 3 of us and we were like in other people's things.
Show.
No, it's very weird.
And you got 3 songs and each of you sang lead in your song and the other 2 were backup.
You're right.
I was forced to be part of a group, period. It was a group effort.
That you did not get to choose.
No, I didn't get to pick the song. I didn't get to pick who was in my group. They had 5th graders singing, or 4th graders singing Copacabana.
I never heard that song in my life until then.
No, and then I heard it later in life, like, why did you let 4th graders sing
that's not okay.
Hookers in a bar getting shot? What the fuck? But who was the name of that teacher?
Wycliffe.
Oh, Wycliffe was fucking great.
He called me spoiled girl. He was mean. Because one time I wore a shirt that said spoiled brat, whatever, I owned it.
Everyone had shirts like that.
And then he just called me spoiled girl for the rest of elementary school.
But theater and production-wise, he was a great teacher. Remember his class always had the coolest assemblies? They would do, like, parody songs for all their assemblies, like, Weird Al style.
I kind of, like, the vaguest memory of
But, like, everyone else's assemblies was like, we're gonna sing my favorite things. Girls in white dresses.
Don't come at me with, like, the best song ever.
No, but,
I definitely sang a song from Sound of Music at a talent show. So.
No. But, like,
I'm kidding.
Everyone else sang the same, like, 10 songs for school assemblies, and his school would get to do, like, a Britney Spears song about, like, grammar. And we're like, that's so cool! Like, he would always write these really cool parodies.
Yeah. But I hated him. But that's okay.
Wow, tangent. Yeah. Wow, tangent. Sorry.
Girl, you're gonna have to do so much editing. I'm so sorry.
I'm honestly gonna leave a lot of this in, because this is what makes the podcast good. They're not actually here to hear about the movie. If you are, comment.
Oh, if you are, go watch the movie.
Really quick.
Develop your own thoughts.
I meant to do this shout out at the very beginning of the podcast. I got our first piece of fan mail! I was so excited. I got the email and I'm like, oh, this is spam. This isn't real. Because like I don't get any emails to the Stupid Sequels Podcast email, stupidsequelspodcast@gmail.com. And I fucking got a message from Thomas M. I'm not going to say your last name. Thomas M., you sent us our first piece of fan mail. Thank you so much. I love it, and I will take suggestions, and I will try to do one of your suggestions. We don't do TV shows, so we can't do Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who.
We love it. I would be down.
But we don't do TV shows. I will try to do one of your 5 in the next couple of months. That's your reward for joining out. And shout out to Thomas!
Yes!
Number 1 fan!
Way to go.
But yeah, if you're actually here to hear about the movie, I'm sorry. That's not what this podcast is about.
If you're not here to just hang out with 2 awesome people.
Why are you even here?
I've heard some bad podcasts where
they are friends.
Like where they aren't friends when like the podcast was just starting and they haven't built like their little community yet, and they're so awkward.
And that was the issue is Rebecca and I had a YouTube channel first, which only had like 8 or 9 episodes, and it doesn't work for us because we spend so much time together. We can't do like these reminiscing tangent bits,
right? Because
we're constantly together.
Yeah.
And I've noticed podcasts that are like with actual best friends don't work well because they like speak their own language.
It's like I think it works okay. There has to be a third person.
You have to be friends. Like, My Favorite Murder works because like they were professional friends. They hung out sometimes, but they're not like we're at everything together all the time. Yeah. Or like what's the other one I listened to? All Killa No Filla. All Killa No Filla! Shout out! Oh my god, if they listen to this podcast, I'd lose my mind.
Okay,
but yeah, like All Killa No Filla, it works for them because like they're 2 comedians who work together, but they're not like besties who spend all their time together.
Right.
And I think that's what makes podcasts work or not work well.
Yeah.
Because there's another podcast, and I love them at the very beginning, but it's like they're so close. Like, they're like, remember that thing at that time? Ah! So anyway, you're like, what thing at what time? And
like what we just did?
Well, we just shared like 50 stories.
No.
And we're not talking about something because it's a fight, and it will start a fight.
It won't start a fight, but it wouldn't be funny, so it's not worth it.
Oh, wow. No, I'm really kidding. No, it's not a funny story. It's a fight that 2 third-grade girls had that they can't get over. If you message us.
Sure.
If you message or post on the Facebook or on our Reddit, I will tell the story. Fucking engage us on social media, bitches. God damn.
Wow, yeah, they're really gonna want to talk to you now after you yelled at them.
Oh, if you like me because I'm nice, you don't like me at all. I'm an asshole.
Alright, let's jump back into this.
So, the professor's in the library, and when have you ever seen a college professor in the library with the students? Never in my life.
Wow, I don't even remember this.
And Sarah is reading her book, and she walks up to her in the library, and she's like, just so you know, you can't make me quit. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to be the best dancer you've ever seen in my life, and you can't make me quit. And the professor's like, you done? She's like, yeah. She's like, bye. And she just leaves. And it's so vicious. I'm like, what was that? And then Miles is like, hey, girl, you think about this again? And she's like, I don't know, I want to do this. And he's like, well, when I went here, she's like, you were a student? And he's like, yeah, I dropped out. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
But I did write, now it makes sense, because a lot of the stuff with him before knowing that was
he's not
confusing,
and then he dropped out.
Yeah.
So the mentor is like, oh, Sarah, the professor wants to see you in her office. This is like later on. And she walks up to the office, and Marcus, who was the guy in the swishy pants, is like, she kicked me out. She said I'm not good enough.
Well, it was the pants that did you in, man.
It is. He was in the third line, too much.
Yep.
First of all, this professor's office is huge. Which maybe Juilliard does. Maybe Juilliard does.
What do we know? We didn't go there.
And she's like, okay, so starting your review. And Sarah just straight up vomits.
Yeah.
She vomits into a trash can. And she's like, oh my god, do you need tissues? Oh my god. And like the professor's all of a sudden really nice.
Yeah.
Which like she's throwing up.
Which I thought was accurate to how humans.
Yes. Yeah. Like I'm gonna be cold bitch, but like, an actual situation of like you're hurt. I'm gonna check it out. She's like, here's a trash can. Oh my god, are you okay? Do you need tissues?
Okay, and then she looks in the trash can. She looks
in her vomit.
And I was like, oh, and she knows what vomit with pills looks like, specifically.
Pills? Well, I want because she was in the locker room.
I was like,
when the mentor comes in to say the professor wants to talk to you. So I wonder if she like popped the pills out of nerves.
Oh, maybe.
But she didn't. The pills aren't for like if it was like a Zoloft. What's the one that you fucking take?
Ambien.
To get on a plane.
Oh,
to calm down. Comes in bars.
I don't...
Anxiety meds. Someone out there is yelling it. Xanax!
Oh, there you go.
If it was like, oh, and a Xanax for when the teacher's driving you crazy. And, like, she was at her locker and they're like, the professor wants to talk to you. Time to pop a Xanny.
Maybe.
Like, if she, like, I would have gotten that. But like,
also...
Why are you looking at a person's vomit?
Yeah, and then...
But I guess it's a
How
dancer.
many did she take to make her puke? Like, you don't have one
I think
pill
she was
and puke.
puking out of nerves and she happened to take pills.
Okay, solid.
each
That's a
other.
good...
And I mean, maybe as, like, a ballet teacher, you know these kids tend to abuse their bodies.
Yeah. I kind of, like, wrote it off. I'm like, all right, she's probably dealt with this same situation before.
Like, oh, a ballerina who pukes, how fresh.
Yeah.
And she's like, pills? And she's like, it's the first time I'm saying it, please don't fire me. And she's like,
fire me?
Please don't kick me out.
I know, I'm messing with
And she's
you.
like, kick you out? Like, no, you're good, girl. You're, like, really good. Like, your arms are too expressive and your ankles need strengthening. And I'm like, well, that's it. She does have that thing where she does her arms wrong.
Oh, yeah, because she does, like, a...
She's doing her arms.
She's got her, like, hip-hop thing coming in.
And she's like, why'd you do that? And she's like, it seemed easier. And I'm like, why the fuck would you say that in a dance class?
Yeah.
Like, okay, even if you're doing it during your solo, I can buy it. Like, it felt more natural. But warm-ups at the bar, you're doing them in a very intentional direction.
Right, that's the point.
To warm up the muscles.
Right.
That's like, oh, I did my push-ups with my knees bent.
And you're, like, building your form.
It felt more natural. Yeah, it made no sense, but she does this, like, weird arm thing on her very first day, and the teacher's like, the fuck was that? But then she only puts her in the second line when she does that.
So it's like punishment, but not the worst punishment.
So then, next thing we see, she has a solo in class, and she's killing it.
Yeah.
She's so good.
She's very good.
She's really good, guys. Like, I just, like, watching Isabella dance, I'm like, wow, she's a really good dancer. Like, I just kind of loved her. Because whenever they had those moments with Julia Stiles, I'm like, nah, son.
Yeah.
Because, okay.
I'm glad there wasn't more ballet in the first one.
The whole
basically.
scene in the cafeteria where they're dancing and he, like, does his little hip-hop move, and she does, like, her one, and he's like, what was that? I'm like, bad. And she's like, attitude around the jambe. I'm like, no, that's what that was? Because it wasn't good. Why weren't your toes pointed? Oh my god.
Well, remember, she was out of shape at that time.
But yeah, Isabella can actually dance. And I keep referring to her as Isabella and not Sarah for the sake of confusion. I have noisy neighbors. Fuck you.
Then they go for a walk in the park.
Oh yeah, Miles.
More talks about cannolis.
She's finally eating a cannoli.
Right. Oh, okay. And then she's like bitching about like, I just didn't realize it was gonna be this hard. I'm like, it's Juilliard. Like, maybe I don't know anything about like any kind of art programs, but I know Juilliard.
And I'm guessing like hearing 12 hours a day in theory and actually doing it can be different.
Yeah. So Juilliard's gonna be hard.
Juilliard's gonna be hard.
In case you didn't know and you were interested in going, probably gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be real hard, guys.
It's competitive.
Like, And a thing that comes up towards the end is like, there's no freedom in ballet, blah, 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 blah. And besides her one, like, arm movement, I don't see that being an issue.
Like, she's not trying to be...
Like, if during her solo, she was, like, doing all this stuff, and then she, like, changes a move.
Yeah.
And the professor's like, well, it was excellent until you did all of this. What was that? She's like, I was putting a new spin on the move. And she's like, we don't do that. Like,
yeah.
Like, she can do the moves. She's just trying, like... If there was more of that played in, I would have liked it. Right. But this movie, like, there was ballet and there was hip hop.
Right. And they didn't show her
except for like
until the end when she gives her little speech about wanting to do it all together.
And I guess her final choreography at the end was like the moves.
Oh, it definitely was both, but it wasn't even like. Do you mean like the big routine at the end?
Yeah.
Because
not Giselle, but the big routine.
Yeah, because the big routine at the end is like. There's a group of women in white, and they're doing, like, heavily ballet stuff. And then there's another group doing hip-hop stuff, and then they're all doing together, but it's not really combining.
Integration.
Yeah.
Her moves on the dance floor in the pit was the best integration of ballet and hip-hop between both movies.
Yeah.
Because even in the first one, she has her ballet piece and her contemporary piece. Those are, like, I can do both, but, like, mixing them isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I wished this sequel had just been like a Bring It On sequel where like they're not connected. Yeah, and it was just a different story.
It just felt like they were trying to connect it when it didn't make
it
a good movie.
I guess the Step Up movies all technically connect.
The first two definitely do. There's at least
but like Alison Stoner is in all of them.
Exactly.
Alison Stoner is her friend.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
But like in some of them, she's just like They're like,
stopping by.
I have a friend who can help us out. It's like, hi, I'm the girl from the third grade. Remember, I'm going to throw this one move. You can do it, guys. And then she, like, walks off. But, like, she's in all 5. Allison Stoner and her friend are in all 5. Including the one that Isabella Minka is in. I keep almost calling her Mika Kelly.
It's hard.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
So then he's like, please do my choreography, blah, blah, blah. And she's like,
right.
I don't know. And he's like, are you going to make me beg? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, please. And then she says yes. So they announce in ballet class that the fall production is going to be Giselle.
Right.
Do you know the plot of Giselle?
Not at all.
It is actually interesting that they picked this, and I get the point of it. So basically, there's a peasant girl named Giselle, and she's like a lover and a dancer and spirit child, whatever. And so then there's this prince, and he's betrothed to some princess or whatever, and he's like, I want just one last day of freedom. And so he like disguises himself as a peasant, meets Giselle, the two of them fall in love.
Okay.
He reveals himself to be a prince and about to be married. She dies of a broken heart. Very sad. So then she becomes a willy, which is where the expression a case of the willies comes from. It's a Scandinavian forced spirit, which is made by a scorned virgin woman dying before she can be loved.
Wow.
They're all vengeful spirits who hate men. I'm like,
interesting.
Yeah. So willies are all women who died virgins unloved. And so the willies like revive Giselle and be like, you want to fuck your boyfriend up? And she's like, hell yeah. And there's like the queen of the willies who's like the most spurned.
And then she gets cast as that.
She gets cast as queen of the willies.
I was like, wow, they're really losing me with that name. I was like, I definitely don't know what this is.
Out of context, Queen of the Willies sounds like a joke. But it's they're actually like mad scary. And they like kill his best friend thinking it's him. Like, so Villies make you dance until you die. Okay. And so it's ballet, obviously.
Well, yeah, no, this sounds fantastic. I definitely want to see this someday.
It's really good. And
I've never been to
and they're all like creepy, like gray, like spirit, and like all of their stuff is very like floaty, like on point shoes. Like,
got it.
Willies are so cool. I never got to do Giselle because I left ballet before I was old enough to do it.
Right.
And so basically they kill his best friend and they're like, see what it's like to kill, ha ha ha. And she's like, wait, I don't like this. And they're about to, the queen is in love / super wants to kill Giselle's boyfriend, and basically Giselle, like, her love, like, pushes the willies away, and she's like, I love him more than I hate him.
Wow.
And I think she kills all of the willies, or she, like, banishes them back to the shadow realm, and then she just, like, gives up being a willy and dies. So,
fascinating. Like,
the idea of, like, giving up what you love for the good of the person.
So it would have helped to have that context before I saw this.
Yeah. So, like, actually, once they said Giselle, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, someone isn't who they say they are, and they're doing it for love. Like,
yeah.
They very much picked Giselle on purpose.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to do Coppelia for sure. Coppelia is basically, it's Pinocchio, but a girl and a dancer.
Okay.
Lonely carpenter dude carves a doll who is the best ballerina dancer. A guy looks through his window, falls in love with her, breaks into the studio, realizes she's a doll, gets mad, breaks the doll, guy dies of a broken heart. So, but Coppelia is a whole thing.
That one doesn't sound as good.
No, but Coppelia is a whole thing where you have to be very precise and exactly the way that things are, because you're literally a doll.
Got it.
So I thought they're going to be Coppelia, like, I don't want to be anyone's
then
doll
it's going to be like a really strict and structured and...
Yeah, so I thought when they said, like, we're going to do fall production, I'm like, bet you $1 million they're going to do Coppelia. I'm like, oh, Giselle. Oh, Giselle works better.
You're like, you know what? You did one thing right.
Points movie. You've never been to the ballet, though?
Never.
Like, not even the Nutcracker when you were little?
Nope.
We're going to the ballet. Decided. We're going.
I'm in.
They do it at Theater Strip. Like,
I know, and I've talked about going before, and I just never have.
Tickets are cheap as fuck. We're going to the ballet.
Done. Sounds awesome.
Done! You heard it here first, guys. Jessica Fortinberry's going to the goddamn ballet.
It's the name of my memoir.
Jessica's going to the goddamn ballet. But real talk, you don't mind me saying your last name on the podcast?
No, I don't.
Okay, just because I credit you, like, with guest, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm happy to be credited.
Yay. Follow her on Twitter, guys. She's so fucking funny.
I am not that funny.
You are! I like every single one of your tweets.
I know, I really appreciate it because I looked at my followers, and definitely half of them are people who followed me in high school and are not actually active on Twitter. Yeah. Only 2 people like my tweets ever, and shout out to you. I mean, I'm not, like, desperate for the attention, but I'm desperate for the attention.
Well, I tagged you on our on the Super Sequels podcast.
I saw it last night. Yeah. Like, I saw it at, like, 3 a.m., and then I was like, don't be weird and reply right now.
Anyway, so yeah, go to our podcast. I mentioned her. I'll probably mention her again when I post it. Follow Jessica on Twitter. She's really funny.
Thank you.
And your last name on Twitter is your last name. So
yeah, that's why when you asked if you could say my last name, I'm like, yeah, I was gonna give my my handle at the end. Oh, no, so and my last name is in the handle.
She will still give her last name in the handle.
Yeah.
So Zoe calls. Wait,
why are we talking about this bitch again?
No, because she calls. Wait, I have to read this.
I have like
Zoe calls Sarah a jealous bitch out of nowhere.
Is that then?
Yeah, that's where I read it in order. Because like I don't know, but like she calls her a jealous bitch out of nowhere.
Oh, probably because she's like in a relationship now with that.
Oh, because she said she has to stop. She has to stop seeing Miles because she has to concentrate on ballet.
Right.
She's like, you're jealous. You're a selfish bitch. I'm like, what? And she's like, this.
No, that's later.
No. She's calling Katrina a jealous bitch.
There you go. That makes more sense.
She's calling Katrina the TA because they announced like, oh, we're doing Giselle. Remember, the part of Giselle will have to be like really precise, really perfect, and like zoom in on Katrina's face, looking like that's going to be me.
Yeah. Which again is a thing I don't understand because she's announcing it in the class, and it makes it seem like the show is going to be built of the people from that class. Yeah. And again, Katrina's the TA, so it's going to be built of all of the ballet people.
Yeah. So the fall production would be everyone in Juilliard's ballet conservatory.
Okay, then yeah, I definitely don't think that Sarah should have gotten the lead. There had to be somebody else better. She's a freshman. There had to be somebody else better.
No, Katrina had completely earned the part.
Katrina, I totally understand.
If she was genuinely a senior and genuinely was the TA, she was supposed to be Giselle.
Yes, I get that. Then Sarah getting it when Katrina, like, I don't know, breaks her ankle or whatever. Yeah, it was very unclear.
Okay, we'll get to it.
But yeah, I was like...
Sarah getting it is bullshit. Yeah. But, so, she's like, and so he's like, this isn't school, this is Survivor. I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, just kidding. I'm not doing that.
If like people were getting voted out more, except for like Swishy Pants McGee, I would see that. But like, only one person's gotten kicked out. It's not Survivor. That's literally how auditions work.
Yeah.
So she goes to Miles' studio. He's playing piano. He has a massive loft apartment.
Yeah.
His apartment is enormous. And she's like, what happened about being a struggling artist? He's like, oh, call it a consolation prize for having parents who don't talk to you. And I'm like, okay, that's people who bug me. They're like, I work for my stuff. My parents don't pay for anything except for my giant apartment and my car and my phone. Like, no. You can be a struggling artist if you're paying for all your own shit. And not to say your parents can't help you out. They can. My parents help me out. They don't pay my rent. They don't pay my bills. They pay my cell phone bill.
Also, you're not calling yourself a struggling artist,
though. Yeah, but I would never call myself a struggling artist.
Yeah.
Like, if his parents are paying for his giant loft apartment, he's like, but everything else is me. I'm like, but a loft that big in New York is like,
that's what you need the most. So everything else is you like. Well, you probably don't have a cell phone. It's 2005.
This is how you can afford to be a DJ because you're not.
You paid for your DJ equipment.
Yeah,
and food.
And I rewound to look, and he's like, my parents divorced, and then I lived with my grandpa. I'm like, so your parents aren't dead. Why'd you live with your grandpa? Okay, also, when she tells the story of how her mom died, it's like a throwaway.
Yeah.
She laughs and is
I wrote that down. Like, oh, she's really doing this right now. I'm like, oh, she's really doing this like that.
Okay, I'm going to drop in a clip of Julia in the first movie telling the story of how her mom died here.
What's your fault?
My mom, the accident, the fact that she's dead. She got scraped off some highway because of me, because of my stupid audition. Because she was rushing. She was rushing because I made her promise to come. And when they called my name, I was mad at her because I needed her to be there and she wasn't. She was dying while I was dancing and I was mad at her and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Listen, it is not your fault that she died. Or that she was rushing.
And the story of the sequel of her mom dying here.
Listen, Sarah, about that.
No, it wasn't you. I'm sorry. I just didn't realize how intense Julia would really be, you know? And it's so important to me.
Why?
Since I was little, my mom and I always dreamed about me becoming a famous ballerina. The day of my first audition for Juilliard, she really wanted to be there. I really wanted her to be there. It was my turn to dance. So I looked around, and I knew something was wrong. I was right. She died in a car accident trying to get to my audition. What about you?
Me?
Do you hear the difference in tone, y'all?
Little bit different.
It's real different.
Yeah.
She's like laughing through it. And
Yeah.
he like wipes like cannoli off her mouth. I'm like, don't touch her mouth!
Yeah. Not
What the
into
fuck?
it. Wait, and then he goes in for a kiss and she totally blows him off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
And then she's like,
After all of this build up.
yeah, and then she's like, your music isn't danceable. And he's like, oh, I thought you could dance to anything. She's like, I can, but not to this. I'm like, what metaphor is this supposed to be? Like, you don't have stability in your life. I don't think
there was a metaphor.
I don't know.
I think it was just a weak story building.
But then it's just like a montage of like them like remixing his music.
Yeah, and her dancing around to it.
Yeah.
And like, she's pushing the buttons up.
What
Are they moving like metal clothing racks? Like,
I don't know. So he sends his music off to the artist friend Nigel, and he loves it. And she's like, I'm gonna be a prima ballerina by 21. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I wanted to write a symphony by the time I was 18, but dreams change, bitch. I'm like, prima ballerina by 21 is kind of old, but okay. Oh, I guess
really?
Not prima. Ballerina by 21 is too old. Prima by 21 is not.
Okay.
Because, I mean, honestly, by 25,
I don't know
you
what
retire
means
unless you're
anyways.
like fucking Misty Copeland. Oh, Misty Copeland.
Okay.
Ballerinas are like gymnastics. You don't have a very long career.
Right. So, when he's like, told her about writing the symphony and whatever, then he's like at some point massaging her feet, which grossed me out so
and Zoe
much.
Does too.
Zoe had the exact reaction I had.
Are you
like,
touching her ballerina feet? Ew!
I don't personally like people touching my feet, so I think it's weird.
And also,
but you know, even if you're down with that, ballerina feet. These are not normal feet.
Ugly feet.
Like, oh.
First of all, they're covered in open sores.
Right. I was like, don't touch that. Put gloves on. Anything.
Like, first of all, wash your hands if you're going to touch your feet. You're going to give her an infection.
Yeah, I was not okay with that.
So she has to get to her Giselle audition, and there's like a funny little bit with the other dude, and he's like, I just hope I'm not a peasant.
Yes!
Being a peasant.
Wait, and then when he actually does the dancing and he's like so exaggerated about it,
He's like,
I was dying.
peasant.
It was so funny though.
And so
I actually laughed.
Sarah's like, I obviously would love to be Giselle. She goes, but every girl wants to be Giselle. I'd be really happy to be Queen of the Willies.
Yeah.
Which Queen of the Willies is a really cool part. It's like the Black Swan. It's like, ah! And so she doesn't get it. Katrina gets Giselle.
Right.
And Sarah gets Queen of the Willies. Which I'm like, dude, Queen of the Willies for a
Yeah,
freshman.
solid.
Is incredible.
Yeah. For the fall production. So you've
Yeah.
been in school for a couple months.
Yeah.
You have this great part. Be happy.
Just fucking really
Sit
good.
down. Be humble.
So then they're back in class, and like they're all just doing like these moves. Oh, it's like really repetitive, like ballet moves. You're just drilling a move over and over to get it right. And there's this whole voiceover where the teacher's like, ballet is about perfection, and perfection comes when effort drops away, and all that's left is you and the moves, and there's no effort involved. I'm like, bullshit. Ballet is about making it look like it's no effort. Really good ballerinas can lift their leg over their head and look like they're touching their nose. There's still a shitload of effort involved.
Right. The effort doesn't go away. The appearance of effort goes away.
The appearance of effort goes away, absolutely. But the idea that if ballet is effortless to you, then you're perfect is bullshit.
Sounds like you're probably just doing something wrong.
Yeah. And she's like, ballet is about perfection and blah, 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 blah. And so then, okay, so this is the confusing thing, where you think she's going to the art performance and she's like nervous beforehand to see how people will react.
Right, but apparently it was after?
But apparently it's but she's standing outside and won't come in. And she's like, I'll come in later. And then there's this like lady smoking next to her.
Who turns out to be a professor.
Which I thought that was going to come back. She's like,
I did too. She was like, stop by my office.
She's like,
and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, this is the chill professor. Like, I like her.
You're in the classical department. I head up the modern department. We should talk sometime.
I was like, yeah, she's going to switch.
And I'm like, that's what's going to happen. But then she's like, your stuff in there was really great. And I'm like, oh, so she already, She goes, so they already did. Yeah. Why are you standing outside nervous except to meet up and talk with this professor?
It was very convoluted.
Yeah, it was real weird.
But I really liked that lady, and I was hoping she'd come back.
And then Miles runs up to, like, the window, and he just pushes a card against the window that says Vibe.
As if we are supposed to know what that means.
And Sarah's like, oh my god!
I was like, oh, I guess we're supposed to be excited now.
What's Vibe?
Yeah.
What's Vibe?
A lot of times, I don't like how that sounds. Many times in this movie, I was like, wait, am I supposed to know what that means?
Yeah.
That was not the first time I felt that way in this movie. Like, things don't track.
Yeah.
I don't know where they came from. So I was like, wait, did they mention this before?
And I forgot? Didn't. Like, if he was like, oh my god, you have to come to my friend's art show. A producer from Vibe is going to be there.
Right.
That's how easy that was.
Yeah.
So then the next scene, they're in a club, which...
And Neo is singing, y'all.
Is the name of the club Vibe? Because then he's like, I'm going to be playing at the Vibe block party. That's insane, like, exposure. And I'm like, so is Vibe a person or a studio?
I would say it's a...
Is it like Mad
Maybe
Decent?
It's a production company?
Like, because, like, Mad Decent has, like, Mad Decent block party, Mad Decent beach party... like, it's different, like,
right.
But, like, they're all run by Mad Decent. So, I'm like, so when he said, Vibe Block Party, I'm like, oh, is, like, Vibe, like, Mad Decent, where, like, it's a production. But they never talk about it.
Nope.
And they're just at this club. Is it supposed to be the club from the first time?
I thought it was, but it quite possibly was not.
And Neo's there.
I also don't think I was paying enough attention to that to care.
Yeah, and Neo's on, like, the smallest stage ever.
Very small, and then just different girls keep coming up and dancing with him.
Yeah, at first I thought it was supposed to be Candy.
Yeah,
like
I did too.
And then like Candy became his backup dancer. Like, but no, the girls keep switching in and out, and they're obviously like his because like they're doing like the same choreography.
Yeah,
and like he's not singing any like recognizable Neo songs.
Nope, definitely not. He still sounded great.
He sounded great. He's Neo.
There was.
I wanna go to bed. At you, I wanna go to bed. At me.
At this point in the movie, I was like, there is not enough conflict in this movie.
No.
And then, I don't
conflict
know if this
kicks
is,
in
like,
next scene.
terrible, but I was like, there isn't enough, like, of a hood element.
Yes! Nobody could... No.
There were air quotes there.
Yes,
I'm not
there were air
mean.
quotes, guys. No,
like,
there was a huge issue in the first one, like, when she's in the doctor's office with Chanel... And she's like,
yeah.
There's no two worlds, Chanel. There's just one. She's like, yeah, that's what they fucking tell you. Look around you, look at your life, and look at how other people are treated, and maybe learn something from it.
Yes. There was such great tension between, like, her integrating herself into this, like, black community in the first one. And not just a
black community, but a black impoverished community.
Absolutely. And in this movie, it was just like, everybody's the same.
Because everybody's a Juilliard, so everyone's a rich bitch.
Yeah. Which I guess that's fine, and, like, they don't have to... Both movies don't have to have the same problem.
If he had been a struggling artist in a shit apartment, I would have believed that more. Or, like, oh, my friend lets me borrow his studio because I sweep up his floors. Right. It's like, no, he's a rich bitch from Juilliard. Like,
yeah.
There's no issue with him being black and her being white.
Right.
He's black because the movie is about hip-hop, which is an issue to me.
Wow, that is very true.
And if it's about being hip-hop, why isn't Franz black? And the roommate being like, I've never dated a black guy before. This is kind of weird. And she's like, girl, trust me, it's hard, but it's so worth it. Me, like,
yeah.
There's no... The issue of them dating has nothing to do with their race, which in the real world, of course, there doesn't have to be. But a huge part of the Step Up franchise was the interracial relationship.
Right.
Both from people in the black and white community having issues with it.
Yeah.
And no one has an issue with them being together because of their race.
They could have easily done, like, the reverse. So, like, the first movie was putting her into a school where she is the only white person.
Yeah.
They could have done that.
Where he's the only black person.
Exactly. Which wouldn't make sense. No, but at least they could have...
Well, at Juilliard, you could almost...
mirrored it.
It would be bad, but you could do it. And there was one line where later on the...
Or just, like, out of everybody she knows, or, like, all her friends or whatever. Like,
yeah, later on the professor says, like, you're going to ruin her. I was like, whoa. But then it didn't go where
I was going to. That was a different thing, yeah.
And may I just say, so proud in the first movie that the dad does not have an issue with the boyfriend being black. I so thought that was going to be a plot point.
Yeah, I definitely did too.
Because her friends do. She's like, oh yeah, I actually am dating someone. She's like, there's white people at the school? Yeah. And she's like, no. And then her friends are really weirded out by it. And then I love that it wasn't just white people having issues with black people. It was that his sister and his friend was like, white women coming up here doing all this shit. And that, like, it was an issue on both sides.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated. And this just wasn't an issue at all in the Step Up movie, which obviously interracial relationships don't always have to be full of conflict for their race. I'm just restating that in case you think it is. I am the product of an interracial relationship, guys.
But when you make it
when
such
you make
a
it a
part of the
step-up
first
sequel,
movie, Save the Last Dance?
Yeah. Step up. Wow.
I think that's not the first time you said it, and I didn't even notice until right now.
If I have. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, when you make it part of these Last Dance franchise, that's part of it.
Yeah.
And this was basically like, I'm good at hip-hop. I can hip-hop dance. Oh, that's it? Now that is just a step up. That's this. What's the one with Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan?
That's Step Up.
That's Step Up?
Just the first one. Step Up.
Just the first one. Okay, because the first ones and the
there's
rest of them...
There's a lot of race stuff in that one, too, but that's different.
But, like 2 through 5 are all about, like, 2 dance battles, woo-woo!
It's in the street, step up, take it to the street, or whatever.
Yeah, but the first one was just about Jenna Dewan Tatum getting into dance school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a whole, like, integrating the two things, and it wasn't as much about race.
Right.
Ooh.
Okay, we are getting to, like...
Close to the end.
We're getting to the horrible, awkward...
shit hits the fan.
Recording, so he... has been, like, recording sounds? He
records everything in his life. And he's like, the first time I wanted to do it...
He's like 60,000 hours or something.
So he goes, like, the first time I was 4 years old and it was the sound of the shower rings in the bathtub.
He said that was the first noise he remembers.
Yeah, and I was about to call him out, I'm like, you recorded that? She's like, he recorded that? He's like, no, I was 4. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, we're not being that ridiculous.
He's like, Mom, let me go get my little Tyke recording device.
And then he, like, she's like, and like, it's literally a wall. So they go to a club and then she comes back to his place afterwards. And it's a wall and it's tapes. It's not even CDs, it's tapes. And,
in 2006.
And then he's like, pick one. And she picks a random tape off the wall. He doesn't look at it. And he puts it in a tape player and he plays it. And it's like it is a really cool
I really liked it. I definitely liked it. It's like, ice breaking.
And she's like, what is this? And he like closes his eyes and he's like,
January
6th, 1985. It had been freezing or below freezing for 6 days. The sun had come out, and this is the sound of the East River ice breaking. And I'm like, that's actually really beautiful.
Yeah, I was into that.
I was like, whoa. And that was like, oh man, I wish he'd like, besides just the one scene in the club, I wish there'd been more scenes of him
like recording
stuff.
But wait, there's more.
My God. So they're drinking wine. First of all, serving alcohol to a minor. Issue.
That's okay.
Whatever. I know.
You didn't drink underage?
I was not being served by my professor.
Straight up, that's right.
I wasn't being served by my professor.
Yep.
In his apartment.
Okay. See? Let's not rehash this. Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
Gets weirder.
So they start kissing. They're making
Things
out.
escalate.
They're making out. She's just straight up naked.
Yeah, it happens in a second.
It's not even like she's in her bra looking cute. She's naked. And he pulls out his tape recorder. It's raining. So I'm like, oh, he's going to like record.
No, wasn't it a mic?
Yeah, he pulls out a mic. And it's raining. And at first I thought he was going to like record like the sound of the rain. I knew
exactly what he was about to do.
And he fucking puts his mic between her tits.
Up to her heart.
And records the sound of her heartbeat for a while.
This is word for word what I wrote. Trying not to judge, but shit seems weird.
So all of my notes are in lowercase. I'm like, they're undressing, they bang. Hey, he's pulling out his tape recorder. Is he going to record the ew, 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 ew? He's recording her heartbeat. Ew!
I want to think it's okay. Like, I get that they must have thought it was romantic, but I mostly was just like,
like if he put the tape recorder out the window to record like the rain and like
to like remember the moment,
and then like he mixed the sound of the rain in. It's like that's the rain from the night they first made love. Like
that's cute.
It would have been creepy,
but less so
than what happened.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say it. He makes her a song with her own heartbeat, guys.
Yeah, and she seems very happy with it, and I was like, oh no,
it like wrecks her life.
Oh no.
I was like dry heaving through this moment.
It was killing me.
So they're in Giselle rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
Katrina's killing it.
And then
she
boom.
Legitimately...
It just looks like she falls. Not a bad fall.
She falls. It looks like she sits down.
But you hear like a snap.
Here, give me your voice. She goes down like she's bending down to reach a penny and you hear...
Exactly. I was like, oh, that was not hard enough.
Cracking noise.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm fine. And they're like, walk it off. And she literally does walk off stage.
Yeah, and they're like, take her to the clinic. And I'm like, take her to the hospital. You made it sound like she definitely broke that.
The sound of her falling is a cartoon bone snap noise. And then even when you find out what it is, it's not a broken bone.
I didn't even remember because I wrote her off.
I listened for it. I'm like, she broke her knee in 3 places, right? Like, she snapped her tibia in half, right? Like, and also I was mad that her falling was her doing partner work with someone else. So it's like, oh, her partner dropped her. It's all his fault.
Right.
He fucked her. Like, I wanted her to be, like, overconfident because, like, I'm fucking Giselle.
Yes.
And she, like, sees Sarah and she's like, fuck you, I'm gonna do this move harder than I should. And then it's like, wounded by her hubris. Like, yeah. I thought it was gonna be that, but no, her partner drops her and she cracks her leg in half.
Oh, I wrote it. Permanent ligament damage.
Permanent ligament. Like, ligaments don't crack like that.
Nope.
Not that loud.
Nope.
So she can't dance, and so Sarah's gonna get Giselle, which, like, freshman.
Yeah. Incredible.
There's no one else who can do it. Like, there are other leads in the...
There has to be.
There are other leads in the show besides Sarah and the part of the Willies, and now you have to teach
and now you have to
teach dancers.
Exactly.
All in choreography.
Yeah.
Like, ugh, whatever. And then Katrina's like, she's making a fool of you. Ask your son. Oh, so Miles is the professor's son.
Yeah.
And just for the record, guys, Miles is very dark-skinned, African-American, and the professor is whitey white. Which can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But...
He doesn't look like his parents are mixed.
No. And then they show up, and I'm like, so is she, like, the stepmom? Because he said his parents got divorced.
That would have been, yeah.
But then they never say, like...
that. Yeah, it's unclear.
Stepmom, mom, whatever. And then there's a photo of them later on, but it's him at this age. So
yeah.
It could be a whole stepmom issue. So Miles is her son, guys. Okay.
See, I hadn't got to the part where you, like, hear that, and I was like, why does the ballet teacher have such an opinion about this guy?
No, me either.
Like, I don't understand.
And I felt like maybe, like, he was an ex-dancer, and he, like, left for school.
Yeah, to go do the piano thing, and then that didn't work out either.
And like, you gave up all your talent. But no, it's just purely about that.
Nope, there it is.
So Sarah's like, I super can't do choreography because, okay, so now he's going to get to do this showcase for the Vibe block party, and he wants her to do choreography again, even though they very clearly said the first time that this is a one-time thing. Her hatred of Miles seems to come out of nowhere, and then this reveal, it's like, well, duh, it had to be something. Fuck.
Yeah, it did. It did.
So she's like, okay, so she said she wasn't going to, she's like, if I do this choreography for your art friend, it's a one-time thing, I'm super busy. So now that he's gotten this, like, Vibe work shit, this Vibe,
this whole other thing,
he's like, can you choreograph this piece? And she's like, no, and also I'm fucking Giselle
she's
now.
Literally in a show.
And it's not getting...
I totally understood.
And it's not getting the full time to rehearse because this girl got injured midway through rehearsals. Like, and she's like, well, Candy is a dancer, like, she can help you out. And she's like, no, she complains about the music, and, you know, she can't do dance moves like you can, and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, well, whatever, I'll come over and I'll help you choreograph. So she's at his place, and he's, like, about to confess, obviously, that the professor is his mother.
And then he
gets interrupted.
Yeah.
Because, of course,
they're practicing.
Mid-rehearsal.
Yeah.
Like, tell her afterwards.
And, like, Candy's back, and she's being a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So then Miles goes to confront the professor, and he's like, you're gonna ruin her, you're pushing her too hard, I love her. He's known her, like, a minute, dude.
Yeah. And at the most, 2 months.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I would hope so, and if you love her, you'll let her go. Oh, the professor is French, or British, by the way. Her name is Monique, but she's very British. Monique Delacroix.
Which is very French.
Yeah, and she's British.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yep.
And the white girl's Polish, so whatever. Whatever. But she's just so obviously not Julia Stiles, not just from appearance, but, like,
mannerisms.
You sound like you're from a different country. You obviously didn't grow up on the mean streets of Chicago.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes she sounded Southern, because she was, like, overcompensating her American accent.
Way too hard in the American, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, you gave up all this talent for nothing. And he's like, my dream changed. That's it. I'm like, that's not it. You don't give up
wanting to compose music to be a DJ.
Or even if it is, like, I didn't want to do classical piano anymore. I wanted to write my own music. But just saying my dream changed is not an explanation.
No.
Like, if you'd said, like, I couldn't do it your way anymore, I had to do it my own way. But, like,
I did it my way.
Do you know about the My Way murders?
No.
So in the Philippines, where karaoke is very popular, I'm
Yes.
stealing this from My Favorite Murder, guys. There is a huge incident of, I think it's like upwards of 10 or 15 people have been murdered while singing the song My Way.
Wow.
Because
that is a very cliche karaoke choice.
It's a very, like, braggadocio song, and it's
right.
also, like, 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
And if you're not a good singer, it's miserable to listen to.
Yeah.
Which most people take into account when picking karaoke songs.
Absolutely. Always go short. Go for something the crowd's gonna enjoy.
Don't do a ballad, guys. Even if you're fucking, like,
if
Beyonce.
you're gonna do a ballad, do it by yourself in the bathroom.
Yeah, like, ballads and karaoke bring the whole room down.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, and they're saying, well, is it an incident of people singing My Way, or if it's the type of people who sing My Way
That's
at a karaoke
interesting.
bar, but they're killed by strangers.
Oh, that is so crazy.
They're not killed by, like, their friends. Like, they're killed, like, there was one where, like, one guy, like, you know, you put, like, coins in the machine, and he put My Way, like, 5 times in a row.
Oh, no, I'd definitely kill him, too.
And as soon as the second one started, he was, like, murdered by the patrons of the karaoke bar.
That is so crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Damn.
My Way.
Who knew karaoke kills?
Well, when I first heard My Way murders, I'm like, oh, it's one guy going around and doing it. It's like, no, it's like weird.
And you know he's coming for you because he plays the song.
Sorry. I mean, there have been weirder
I'm
murders.
getting delusional, but that would be very funny and very...
Let's
not
make a
funny. Murder's not funny.
Let's make a horror movie.
My Way Murder. Anyways.
Oh my god. We just play like a slowed down acapella version for the trailer.
Oh yeah, very like Beyonce for the 50 Shades of Grey kind of. Yeah.
We just play on a music box.
Solid.
Now we can do this one of two ways. We can do it the easy way. My way.
Whispered. But the screen has cut to black before you say My Way. Coming to a theater near you, October 2018.
Let's write it! Let's write it! Oh my god. Whew. So then, he's like, if you love her, you'll have her dream. And so then, cut to a completely different scene, and
Sarah finds out.
They ask Sarah to go to the office. She sees a picture of him on her desk.
That's what it was.
Which, like, she very obviously sent her into her office on purpose. She's like, go into my office and get these notes off my desk.
I was kind of zoning by then. I didn't even put that together.
Miles. Well, because like, they had that whole fight and then that scene happened.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
And then she's freaking out on him and she's like, this is a betrayal.
You
like,
lied to me. And I was like, literally about what?
Okay, literally, no, he didn't. And second of all, why does it matter?
Yeah.
I literally was thinking there, I'm like, well, you obviously didn't get the part because you're dating her son. So it's not like, you let me think I was better than I was.
Right.
It's not, no wonder your mom hates me. It's because she hates you. Because the mom loves you. I literally can't figure out why she's mad.
Me neither. I didn't get it.
Except for just, like, you should have told me. But, like, it's not a betrayal. It doesn't change anything.
It didn't change anything. No, absolutely not.
And, like, if it's like, you let me bitch about your mom this whole time, but, like, he obviously bitches about her too. I literally couldn't figure out why this was a betrayal. I, like, sat and thought about it. It was like,
I have so many question marks. Because I was like,
yeah.
Why is she mad? What did he say that makes him a liar? Did he say his mom died? I was like, did I forget that?
I literally went back and rewatched that park scene.
Yeah.
And he says, my parents got divorced, I lived with my grandpa until he died, and now I'm on my own. Which, I'm like, that doesn't make sense right there.
Yeah.
Because parents divorced doesn't mean...
That doesn't mean you have to go live with
grandpa.
A third person.
And then when grandpa dies, why aren't you back with me? What happened to the dad is the dad. Because the whole thing where he's fighting with the teacher, and she's like, you sound like your father. And I'm like...
Oh, yeah, I was like, wait, how does she know his father?
What happened to the dad? Like...
Ugh.
That's why I think she's stepmom.
Maybe, yeah. That was crazy.
So she's at Giselle rehearsal. Oh, no, wait.
I think she's at her dorm, and then her professor shows up, unless I missed a scene. Because I thought that was very weird.
Then it's the sad montage of, like, Katrina packing up her locker, and, like,
oh, wow,
Miles can't get the music right, and Sarah's dancing sadly. Like, get over sad. So then they're in Giselle rehearsals, and Franz and Zoe come in, and Miles is like, I know, you're gonna be mad, but, like, he really wants, like, he wants you to come back, the dancers won't listen to him. And she's like, I'm too fucking busy.
Yeah.
And also I'm mad at him. I told him I was too busy before I was mad at him. And Zoe's super mad. She's like, that's bullshit. You said you'd help him. Man. I'm like, it's actually not her job. It's his thing. And if he needs her help to complete his projects, then he shouldn't have taken the project on.
Yeah, he just assumed
and
he could use her as a resource.
And he told her the first time, this is a one-time thing because I'm really busy.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly am on Sarah's side through this.
Agreed.
Whatever. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't come to your show because the one and only night of Giselle, apparently, because they're not doing multiple shows.
I was like, because they have a dress rehearsal, her friends can't come.
And I was dress rehearsal, so we can't come. And I'm like, neither of you's in the show.
No, a dress rehearsal for her play. But then I didn't...
Oh, I thought they meant the dress rehearsal. Oh, no, it was a dress rehearsal for his thing. He goes, well, I can't
Why was she wearing the wig, though?
I can't come because we have a dress.
Doesn't matter.
She dyed her hair blonde. It was just a really bad wig.
Oh.
Yeah.
My bad.
No. It was dress rehearsal for Miles' performance. She's like, well, since you're gone, we need all the help we need all the time we can get.
Sure.
Which I'm like, Franz, okay, you're not doing the music because Miles is doing the music.
Yeah, so what is he even there for?
And Zoe, you're not in it.
Yeah.
Which then Zoe comes. So it's opening night for Giselle. The professor buys her a dress, which I'm like,
for the after show or after party, and I was like, okay.
How do you know this will fit me? Oh, I guess you're a dancer. Like, you're all shaped like poles.
You're all size 2
and no boobs,
and
no tits,
and 5'8".
This was Katrina's dress. I took it from her. So she's like, oh, the head of ABT is gonna be at my dinner party. Everybody's gonna know you. And suddenly the Zoe pops in. She's got a horrific blonde wig on.
It's really bad
because she didn't get the ditzy brunette, or she
got the dumb blonde character. She was really excited about
instead of the smart brunette. So she's like, I'm not typecast anymore. I'm like, have fun fighting your typecast your entire career. It took me until I was 15 to fight it. When I gave in, I actually started getting parts. Sorry, you get cast what you look like. That's how Hollywood works. I mean, we're trying to change it, but it's not gonna. Time's up.
It's a process, y'all.
So she's like, oh my god, I know you're gonna hate me, but Franz made me. Miles made you the CD. Listen to it. She puts on the CD. Also, the show starts in 15 minutes. She's in neither hair, makeup, or costume. I'm like, you're already late.
Yeah.
You're already late. Because those tutus take forever to put on.
Really?
You gotta lace yourself in. First of all, point shoes, you don't just slip them on.
Right, no, I know.
You have to lace them in and make sure the laces are tight enough, blah, blah, blah. And then those tutus are not, it's not just a slip-on situation. You gotta tie your way in.
Okay.
And she's costume changing because she goes from being dead to alive. And so she plays a song, and it's like, it starts with her heartbeat.
Her heartbeat.
And
the one he recorded.
The night they fucked.
Yep.
While they were fucking.
I think that's why I thought it was really creepy, because it did seem like they were still, like, in the middle of things.
This is the sound you made when I was inside you.
Exactly, that's what I felt like it was, and I was like, that is not okay.
I just thought of something worse. What if you took the mic out?
No. The mic did not go south. It's never going south.
It's my mic in your box.
Oh, man.
And she listens to it, and she's obviously, like, very, like, touched. And I'm like, I would be screaming.
She was like, she loved it.
What if Zoe gave her a box of Barbie heads?
At least then I would have been like, well, great, we tied up one loose end.
Yeah. She's like, they're good luck. So then they're doing the Giselle performance, and it's literally, like, just a 9-minute dance scene of Isabella Mika being a really, really good ballerina.
Yes. Someone's, stomping.
Or hammering.
That makes more sense.
Fuck you, upstairs neighbor. And she's just killing it. Just she does, like, 4 separate dances in the show.
Yeah.
And just killing it.
I wanted her to fall. Guys, I didn't like her by the end. No, I had no good reason.
I thought she was gonna falter, because when she first comes on stage, she's just standing there with the veil over her face, and she flips it off. And I thought she was gonna freeze on stage and be like, I can't do it. Like, I thought she was gonna, like, freeze and, like, run to Miles. I'm like, it's not even his show, it's his dress rehearsal. But she finished the show.
That would have sucked, so I'm glad that didn't happen.
She finished the show,
yeah.
She does her bows, and then she looks like she's, like, about to cry.
And then there's a whole breakdown.
She's not coming out after the show. She has changed into the dress, though.
Yeah, and I was like, you couldn't think of this before you completely got all dolled up, and then...
Well, she had to look good for Miles. In the dress your mother bought me. And so, she's like, everyone wants to meet you. You were so great, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, No, son. And she's like, I was up there, and like and she turns to her teacher. She's like, so when you were up here dancing, you know, did you ever think is it all worth it? She's like, oh my god, yeah, and like the costumes will get better, and the dancers, the choreography. She's like, no, that's not what I'm asking. Everything you gave up for that moment on stage, was it worth it? She's like, yeah. She's like, I disagree.
Yeah.
And she leaves.
But that conversation took forever, and by now I wanted the movie to be over. So I was like not having it.
Completely. And she's, okay, and the teacher says something that I frankly agree with, and she goes, you have a gift. And the gift...
and so many girls would kill to be where you are.
Thank you, Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
It
was like a word for word.
Killed him, y'all.
It was straight up that same speech, and I was like, she's right, and you screwed this up.
Yeah. And she's like, you have a gift, but with that gift, you have to have hard work, discipline, and yes, sacrifice. What you have is a child's idea of happiness. And
yes.
I'm like, true.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to be with my boyfriend, and I'm going to dance the way I want to.
And she says that she wants to be more than a ballerina. And I'm like, no, you don't, because all this character wanted to do was be a ballerina.
Yeah.
So, way to rewrite your own history.
She literally killed her mom to become a ballerina.
Shut up! That is the worst.
But I mean, like, at the end of, like, if the first movie had ended and they're like, well, that was interesting, and she's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what you thought. That was the best I've ever felt dancing in my life, and if you can't see that you don't know dance. And they were like, I like your sass, welcome to Juilliard. If that was how the first one had ended, I'd be like, yeah, she's all about, like, what dance means to her. But it wasn't. It was about Juilliard, ballerina,
so
ballerina.
New feeling and her whole speech here is contrary to her entire character.
And, my dream changed.
My dream changed.
She's dropping out of college for a boy she's known maybe 2 months.
But we don't know she drops out. Does she actually say, I'm going to drop out?
She's not going to do ballet anymore.
I mean, we don't see what happens after the last hip-hop dance.
So then she leaves the theater, she goes to Miles, and she's like, I want to help you, and she does choreography for his dance, and she's like, I danced the best I ever danced, and I felt nothing. Just numb. What kind of way is that to feel? Like, and I thought about, like, the first time I danced with you, and, like, I felt something when I danced, so, like, that's the dance I want to be doing. And then they do her big giant performance, which is, like, a mashup of ballet and hip-hop. And, like, the final movie, she's like, and freeze frame! And the movie's fucking over!
That was it. I was like, oh, good, it's over. And then I was like, missing some information.
Is she still going to Juilliard? Is she dropping out of Juilliard? I thought for sure she was going to the modern dance department because the modern dance teacher was at the performance of Giselle.
That would have been.
And there was a focus on her of, like, the modern dance teacher.
Yeah.
Like, this bitch can fucking dance. Like.
And I enjoyed Sarah's dancing in that whole hip-hop ballet thing at the end so much better than just the ballet. Like, maybe I'm just uncultured, but I was like, dang, this is amazing. I'm so into this. Like, her specifically, not just everybody else doing a hip-hop thing. Like, she was so fantastic there.
But it left so much unanswered. And, like, was it his mom? Was it his stepmom? Why was it such a betrayal? Why are they so fraught? If he hates Juilliard so much because his mother's there, why did he agree to be a guest lecturer? Like,
I just want to know what education he got that qualified him to be a guest lecturer.
Yeah.
If I could get, like, a 10-minute spin-off from this that answers that question, that would be great.
I don't know. It's just... And then there was no... I think they expected this to be their next step up. But they'll be like,
maybe.
Step up 2, 3, 4, 5, save the last dance, 1, 2...
At the end of it...
Stop.
At the end of the day, did you enjoy it?
If you had told me this was a step-up movie, if you told me this was Step Up 6, I would have happily watched, like, a dumb dance movie.
Okay.
But sitting down and watching Save the Last Dance and, like, how emotionally that movie impacts you and how smart it is, and then to watch the second, I was like, this is shit.
I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would, but the more I talk about it, the more I hate it. So there you go.
As its own movie, it's not horrible. As a sequel, it is horrible. As its own movie, it's not as bad as it is if you compare it to a sequel to the original.
Yeah.
Okay, so, final thoughts. What is your favorite quote from the first one? I have, like, 5.
I think I have 4 or 5. Yeah, I have 5.
Okay.
One of them we already said.
No, I would never bust a cap in your ass.
Cap in your ass. That was my first one.
Because the way she says it is so, like, sweet.
Sweet.
I would never bust a cap in your ass.
Okay, let's go back and forth with our other favorites.
Okay. You talk a lot of shit for someone who never says anything. So good. I want to, like, use that every day of my life.
She was dying while I was dancing and I was mad at her.
Oh, tragic.
It's just such a dumb sentence.
There's... Oh, when Sarah's, like, wearing her ugly outfit to go...
To the club.
To
steps.
And then... What's her name? Chenille.
Mm-hmm.
Chenille's like, it's country and you look country in it. And I'm like, oh, shit. That's a good one. Love that.
Well, you know what they say? Blood's thicker than blondes.
Oh my god. Oh, there's a spot when... No, can't even get into it, but Sarah's like, that's alright, I dance in circles, probably around you. I'm like, oh, she's shit-talking real quick now.
Oh, shit.
Probably around you.
So good.
I have one more.
Okay, my other one is, like, sad, which is, like...
Oh, no.
He's gonna make something of himself, and here you come white, so you gotta be right. And you take one of the few decent men we have left after jail, drugs, and drive-by. That is what Nikki meant about you up in our world.
There's only one world, Chenille.
That is what they teach you. We know different.
I don't understand. I thought we were friends.
You want to be a friend? Don't just be here to be here. Open up your pretty brown eyes and look the hell around.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really... It's poignant.
Ooh,
it's very
shit.
good. So then my next line is not as cool as that one.
It's okay.
She's just, like, trying to defend herself to whatever the guy's name is. I can't remember his character. Mm-hmm. Screw you. I'm brilliant. And cool.
Where even is that in the movie?
It's like when they're rehearsing. Is his name Derek? Yeah, it's Derek. So they're like in their like abandoned building wherever they're practicing, and he like gives her a hard time about something, and she's like, "Screw you, I'm brilliant and cool."
Slamming.
And I was like, "This is the saddest thing I've ever heard." Like those are not.
That's so bad.
It's just sad.
Okay. Also, can I say Sarah in the sequel, her makeup is so bad.
Is it? God, I didn't even know.
Literally, the scene where they have sex, she has blue eyeshadow, pink cheeks, and bright red lips, like a toddler doing makeup for the first time.
It's
bad.
like stage makeup. Because it is really bright stuff.
I wonder if that's what it was supposed to be.
Maybe.
But
were they just coming from like...
They were coming from that thing.
Oh, okay, so maybe.
I wonder if they filmed that scene and then just like, cut it for time. Like, this movie was 90 minutes. It was a full-length movie.
All movies should be 90 minutes. I stand for this.
This 2-hour trend thing is killing me.
It's exhausting.
It is. And the thing is, like, Rebecca and I, when I went to college in New York, we'd always have a thing where I'd come back over Thanksgiving break and we'd go to the movies and we'd see 3 movies in a row.
Oh, fun.
In a day. Because it was like, we always had to go to the movies together. When we lived apart, we couldn't.
Right.
And the day after Thanksgiving, the theaters were always empty. So we'd just go and see, like, and, like, it'd be, like, the weirdest, like, I saw Burlesque and Tangled on the same day, within about 20 minutes of each other.
That sounds fantastic.
It's so fun. And so I think it was, like, by my junior or senior year, we had, like, our 3 movies lined up.
Yeah.
And we saw 2 and we're like, I'm fucking out.
Yeah, no, they're so long.
So long.
Try and marathon any,
and one of them was Interstellar, so I was just like,
oh, man. Yeah, didn't watch that. Never want to.
Okay, quotes from the sequel, and I mean, there's not...
I have 2, and they're not...
I mean, I think my quote that I'm just going to drop in is just the part where the actress is like...
It's my jewelry. It's my top hat. That's Hamlet.
I've always suspected Ken was a serial killer.
Yeah. I always knew Ken was a serial killer. Like, it's so creepy.
There's a bit where Miles is talking to his friend, the curly-haired dude who I described to myself as a wannabe Josh Groban-looking dude. He's, like, teasing Miles about his relationship with Sarah, and he's like, you two are like Bonnie and Clyde, Pam and Tommy Lee,
my God!
Bert and Ernie, Lewis and Clark, Brittany and Justin.
What? Wake up, man. Seriously, you've been all Barney and friends ever since what's-her-name scrambled your brain.
I'm not.
You two are like Bonnie and Clyde, Pam and Tommy Lee, Bert and Ernie.
All right.
Lewis and Clark.
What?
Brittany and Justin.
They broke up.
Seriously, man, you were so hooked. It's like watching Bassmasters on late night cable. And for tackle today, we're using an 8-pound test line and a blonde ballerina as bait.
That was like, wow, way to date your movie.
And then he's like, they broke up though.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so it wasn't that late.
Also, at that time, Pam and Tommy Lee hadn't broken up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's so crazy.
And at first when he said Bonnie and Clyde, I'm like, so like, what?
Murderers?
Like, murder? Like, are you saying it as a good thing or a bad thing? And then Lewis
Are
and
they
Clark,
going to rob a bank? Yes, no, that's when, like, it just got really
fell
funny.
off. And then my other whole thing is like when he's watching the dancers in the pit, and he's like, they don't know their history.
Oh, yeah.
That every dance has a shadow, and every move has a step. I'm like, who are you? And she's like ballet. I'm like, shut up, Sarah.
The only other line that I liked, because I just thought it was so stupid, was
At the end of the movie, when she goes to him and she's like explaining about how she felt doing the ballet recital.
The ballet, yeah.
And she's like,
I want to paint with ballerinas, b-boys, and point shoes and high tops. If my dream of dancing ballet doesn't have enough room for all that, my friends and you with a cannoli once in a while, then I'm gonna have to find a dream big enough that does.
What?
What you talking about, bitch?
She wants to combine it all, but the way she says, I want to paint with ballerinas, b-boys. I'm like, okay.
I thought she said b-boy. I'm like, the twist you didn't see coming. Sarah is trans.
No!
But when she said b-boys, it was like,
oh, like B-E space
like,
B-O-Y-S.
B-boy. I'm like, huh? And also, you want to be multiple boys? B-boys. I'm white. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Okay.
What a mess. But yeah, point shoes and high tops.
So now I'm going to spring on you the thing I have spring on everyone. It's the Save the Last Dance drinking game.
What?
We go come up with rules back and forth for Save the Last Dance drinking game. I'll say the first one. Drink every time Isabella Mika is a better dancer than Julia Stiles.
Wait, hold on, but then you're drunk.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Drink every time Miles gets philosophical about hip-hop.
Okay, drink every time. You can't count if Katrina is supposed to be a friend or a foe.
Ooh, good. Drink every time Sarah's accent gets confusing.
Drink every time Zoe is on screen and is annoying. Fun fact, guys, it's every time she's on screen.
Every time. I still loved her, though. Still loved her. Drink every time... Oh, man, I don't know.
I purposely spring it on you.
It's hard.
Yeah.
The first couple were easy.
Yeah.
Drink every time there's a phallic reference.
Drink every time he pulls out the tape recorder, which is only like 3 times.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's easy.
Yeah. Drink every time a plot line gets dropped.
Yeah, drink every time a line makes no sense and you expect it to later and it still doesn't.
I mean, you won't know that until later, so you'll just be pounding them at the end. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that didn't make sense.
Just drink for every dropped plot line. That should just round you up.
Yeah. Let's see. Drink every time... No! I can't think of anything else! This is so hard now.
Something about the ballet class. About the swishy pants dance.
Drink every time somebody gets demoted to a further bar.
Yeah, if they're on line 2 or 3. And the final rule, drink every time you want to just turn the movie off. And then do, because you're not me and you can. You're free of this movie. You have no obligation to watch the whole thing.
And after listening to this, you have no reason to watch this movie.
Yeah, we spelled it out for you guys. I mean, if you still want to watch it at the end, props to you.
If you want to figure out why we were confused, and maybe you can figure out...
And maybe we're stupid. Maybe we're like,
maybe we missed something.
This is why she felt betrayed. Duh.
Yeah.
Point it out, please. All right, everyone. That has been the Stupid Sequels podcast. Jessica, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. It's JL Fortinberry. That's
Spell it.
Fort in Berry. Yeah. Very straightforward.
Spelled like it sounds. And I've tagged her on a couple of tweets by now on our Twitter. Follow us online. Please follow us online. I love talking to you guys. I love interacting with you guys. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to make improvements. I know last episode we were having some mic problems, so I'm sorry if it got quiet in the second half. I try to fix it. But other than that, I look forward to seeing you guys next month. We're going to do a Stupid Sequels first. We're going to do a sports movie.
Why?
Because I'm making people from work do it.
Oh, nice.
Actually, the movie he picked, I like the original, so okay.
I bet I can guess what it is.
What?
Is it The Sandlot 2?
Holy shit, it is!
Well, okay, because everybody loves The Sandlot, and I'm trying to think, what sports movie would you have seen?
Mighty Ducks 2.
That wasn't a direct to...
Oh, it wasn't?
Yeah, that was definitely a theater release. Those movies did all right.
It's Sandlot 2, guys. I'm going to leave this in now.
I'm so good.
You are! All right, I love you all.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. I know I'm roping so many of my friends in, and you're so fun, and you prepare.
Anytime.
All right, I'll probably bring her back for another episode. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you around. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to the Stupid Sequels podcast. Please subscribe and review so everyone can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Twitter at StupidSequels2 or email us at stupidsequelspodcast@gmail.com. Every episode is made possible by our sound engineer, Francis Gacod. Our logo was designed by Nicole Wiseman at Wise Shots, and you can find me online at Callie Blair on Twitter and pretty much everywhere else. And remember, even though these movies are stupid, deep down, we really love them.